my goodness, I just remembered something. Whoopsie. Oh well. I just remembered something. Well, I remembered more besides the fact that I needed to clean my glasses, but...
Did you hurry up and start already? I've been yelling at you for 10 minutes to start. Why are you so late?
Whatever, honey. You're a spaz. Hey, don't do that. That puts all the crazy light on my old skin. I don't want that there yet. I don't want to look like a deer in the head. What old skin, right? You want to say hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Hi, guys. Okay, goodbye.
Have fun.
All right, thank you. Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Oh, you know, it's just another night in the Concar household. Hello, friends. Hi. Hi, hi. Let's see. Hello. Oh, I just remembered I was, well, you know, I got ready early this morning and I was going to put some more makeup on this just so I didn't look so, you know, washed out, but I forgot. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's amazing how on camera, you know how they say, well, you know how they say, what camera adds like 10 or 15 pounds. I'm going to say it adds like 80. How about that? No. But also, you have to put on an incredible amount of makeup, way more than you ever would in a normal day with lights and stuff in order for you to have any definition. And so I know that and no definition. So it's good. It's good. It's nighttime. So we're good. I should just come in my pajamas with my face washed and my hair up, right? Hi, Jackie. Hello, Crafty Karen. Wanda, Crafty Karen said, glad Lael's doing an evening session. Yes, we are doing some evening sessions sprinkled in between now and the end of the year. And then as we start looking at 2025, we'll see if that continues or what happens. But kind of started doing a couple of evening sessions because I was traveling and teaching so much. There was just a lot going on. And so I thought, well, let's mix it up a little bit and do some weeknights and weekends, and decided to carry that on through the end of the year. So here we are, because I know not everyone can make a Saturday because life, and so we just try to make it so we can get together and have fun. Right. Hello, Gerda. Janine Douglas. Hello, Janine. Hello, Shelly. Hello, Becky from Windy, Minnesota. Jackie's very excited for a weeknight session. I am too. Hi, Mimi from Santa Cruz. Let's see. Hello, Carrie from Eugene. KJ, hello. Mary Peck. Hello, Mary Peck. Mary. I don't know if you saw it. You may not have seen it because literally right before I jumped on, I picked last Saturday when we were together, we did 2 giveaways. Well, I'll talk about that in a sec. Lisa, hello. Thank you, my little shirt sweater. Hello, Melissa from Indiana. Nancy from New York. Debbie from Sydney. I love it. Debbie Haynes is joining us from Sydney, Australia. And this is one of the nice things about doing a weeknight session is that a lot of times our international friends, because of the time difference, aren't able to join us because we're doing Saturday morning. And Debbie is telling us it's 11:04 a.m. tomorrow. So Friday in Australia. So I'm glad you're able to join us, Debbie. Hello, Crafty865 from Florida, and Pam. Hello, oh, Pam, you're so sweet. Pam. Pam said I look gorgeous, thank you, and she loves my blouse. Thank you. Hello, Elizabeth. Jackie, we're okay with you looking exactly as you are. Well, guess what? Take it or leave it, because this is what you get tonight, right? No, it's all good. You know, we're our own worst critic, right? A crafter I watch wears her pajamas and drinks tea. You know what? In Crafty865, that's so good. I would not, me personally, I couldn't do that. I just, if I go to the grocery store, I can't even wear like a t-shirt. I'm weird that way. So yeah, I would have a hard time. I mean, I could have my pajamas on, but I'd still have hair and lipstick and all of that. Hello, Cindy. Nice to see you from CAN. Hello, Carol, in Canada. We can do a pajama party. We totally can. That would be fun. Yes, Cindy from California. Hi, Diane. Laura from Southern California. Yvonne from Long Beach. Okay, friends, so hello and happy Thursday. So we're doing a special, not special, just, you know, different weeknight listing session this evening. We have 3 lists planned, but also I need to finish up a list that we didn't quite get finished when we were together Saturday because my printer was having issues. It's all good now. So hang on, I gotta turn on the fan. Well, I probably should take off my slippers too. That's causing issues with, you know, my own personal summer. Anyhow, so We will work for 3 hours tonight. We'll get as far as we can. So generally what happens, the nighttime sessions are really fun, but the later it gets in the night, I tend to get lots more like scattered. And some of you are like, how is that even possible? Because you're already scattered. But anyhow, yes, and then I start to get really punchy. So we'll go until 9 my time, which would be 8 Pacific time. And if you want to stay and hang out for the whole time, I had to get him. You are more than welcome to. Otherwise, come back and watch the replay or just, whatever. Carla is looking for the yearly holiday. Oh, so Carla, I didn't do one this year. So normally I do in my December documented mini book project kit every year. Well, every year since I started doing stamps, I have done a special stamp that was part of that project kit. And then if I had usually ordered a few more, and then those were available on the website, but I didn't do that this year. This year I did 4 other mail by mail exclusives in that project kit. So I did not do a stamp this year. So that's why you're not seeing one. Hello, Angela. Thank God it's Thursday. Oh, that's good. I love it. And hello, Maureen. Okay, friends. So, I am going to flip the camera and then we are going to jump in. But I have something very exciting to tell you. Someone reached out to me, this week in a very kind email and said, hey, I would like to do, an anonymous giveaway. She said, I would like to order, something. She ordered something from me, and someone is going to win that tonight. And it is a very, very, very generous prize. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But you might want to stick around for a little while because that's going to be a live giveaway. We want to do that live. So very, very, very much thank you to our generous donor who's here. I saw her, which is very fun. All right, friends. So let's off the overhead lights, turn on the, all the things. We're going to flip the camera and we are going to play. Reggie is in here. He just barely came in and climbed in his little bucket. So we're ready to roll. We are ready to roll. Yes, it is so thoughtful. It's incredibly thoughtful because when something like that happens, it benefits me, right? It benefits me because that person is placing an order on my website, so I benefit. But then it benefits one of you guys. So it's like just it's a very special thing, and it just always floors me when someone does that because it's just so generous. So we'll be excited to talk about that in a minute. Okay, friends. So we have, like I said, 3 lists to do tonight, but we are going to. Hello, Nicole from South Dakota. Nice to see you, my friend. Nicole and I had the chance to meet at the Simple Stories retreat last month. And it was Nicole's birthday, and it was just, Nicole, I loved meeting you, and it was just lovely. So, hello. And hello, Lori from Oakville, Ontario. Okay, friends, so we need to do one quick thing to finish up this list from last week. So let's take a look at what we did last week. Last week, Saturday. It wasn't even a week ago, it was Saturday. So we did 3 lists. Our first list was, okay, I have to think about that. Did we only get, we only got 2 lists done last week. Anyhow, on Saturday. The first list that we did is kind of one of my favorite things about Halloween. And we've done Halloween lists over the years. They've always been a little bit different. One list that we did was favorite Halloween costumes. One list that we did was favorite Halloween movies. Another one that we did was favorite Halloween candy. Another one that we did was favorite Halloween memories. So lots of different ways to approach a holiday if you want to make a list about it more than once. The other thing that happens, I find, is that I go through different stages of my life. The things that I really enjoy about something change, right? So there are things on I don't think we've ever quite done a kind of favorite things about Halloween list, but I will tell you there are things on my list that would not have been on there 5 or 10 years ago. So basically all that to say, you can do a list over again if you want, just maybe give a little bit of time in between. So we started out with the scary stories, simple vintage scary stories from Simple Stories. I know that was a mouthful last week when I said that. The Scary Stories collection from Simple Stories. which reminds me, I just jumped right in and never introduced myself. So let me back up. Let's pretend like we're rewinding very quickly. Hello, friends. Nice to see you. If I know you, thank you for coming. And if we've never met before and this is your first time, welcome. My name is Lael Konkar, and I used to say on Saturdays when I'm not traveling, we are here listing, but we're mixing it up a little bit, doing some weeknight listing sessions. So we are doing what I like to call creative listing. Usually a couple days before we get together, I put at least three listing topics on the blog at laelbymail.com, and we get together, and that's what I work on. I take those lists and I am writing them, but doing it creatively. I am adding pattern paper and stamps. Sometimes we're using dies, we're using die cuts and washi and all different kinds of things. But all of this that we're doing, all of this that we've been doing for the last 4.5 years is a different way for me of memory keeping or telling my story. And I find it's a very freeing way to kind of do my memory keeping and to be creative, because I can write a list like nobody's business. And I don't mean like this. I mean, I have been a list maker my entire life, like literally my entire life. I probably was in the womb making lists, because that's how my brain thinks. So anytime I need to tackle something, anything, I write a list. But these are different kinds of lists because we're having fun with them and we're telling a story like this one. Some of my favorite things about Halloween. So in the last 4.5 years that we've been doing this, I'm going to say we've probably done close to 500 lists like this. And for the most part, they're all about me. And if you've been doing any of them with me, they're probably all about you, right? Because that is what we're doing here. We are telling our story, but we're telling it in a very different and approachable way. I say approachable. I've been teaching craft classes, planner classes, traveler's notebook classes, scrapbooking classes for about 20 years. And one theme that is very consistent, as I've talked to like thousands and thousands of people through all of that teaching, is that a lot of people, most people, when they are crafting, especially with photos, they're not writing anything along with that. So they have photos of their family at Disneyland, and they maybe have a title that says Disneyland, and if you're lucky, they put a date on it, but that's it. You don't really know what they did at Disneyland. You know, they rode the rides, but what were their favorite rides? Or how was the weather? Or did they eat? What was the food like? What were their favorite foods? What are their best memories about that trip? And the reason why, as I ask questions, people generally don't write or journal on their projects is because they don't know what to say, and they don't know how to say it. I'm not an Ernest Hemingway. People say, I don't want to write because I'm not Ernest Hemingway. I don't want to sound stupid. I don't want to sit down and figure out, wordsmith, what I'm going to write, what I'm going to say. And I say, I totally get that, right? But I say, what if I asked you this? What were your 5 favorite memories from Disneyland? You're like, oh, that's easy. 1, da-da-da, 2, da-da-da. So approach it that way, right? Instead of writing a long, essay on what Disneyland means to you, you're making a list. And that is much more approachable because that is kind of human beings. That's what we're used to. We're used to like listing things off. So that is what we're doing here tonight. And that is what we do around once a week, unless I'm traveling here on my YouTube channel. So welcome to you. If you're watching live, welcome, welcome. There is a chat that takes place. As you know, I'm working live, so if you want to pop into the chat and say hello, that would be awesome. If you are watching the replay, welcome to you as well, because I know not everyone can be live. So either way, welcome, welcome. I am very happy to have you here. All right. Sorry that I forgot to do that at the beginning. All right, Elizabeth Kulanja is here from Melbourne, Australia. She said, I can finally watch live. Yay, I love that. Love it. Glad you can make it, Elizabeth. Okay, so Saturday we started out with this list, favorite things about Halloween. And when I started, I said, hey, I printed some pictures. Not all of my lists have pictures, but I printed some pictures and I have an idea on how I'm going to add the pictures in. I basically said, if this is where we were working right here, I am going to put my list over here. I am going to do some decorating over here. And this little page in the middle, I am going to cut down, and you won't even see it, but that is what I'll basically be attaching my photos to on either side. And then I got working and I totally forgot. So we got here and I went, oh shoot, I've already done all that. I forgot to save a page in between to add my photos. So we did a little bit of kind of trying to get our minds, me, when I say we, I mean me, get my mind around how I could do a hinge. I say that I am spatially challenged. I can be very creative, but spatially, sometimes I just can't like see how things work. So we made a hinge and I said, okay, when we're done, I need to get my computer or my printer working, and then when we are together again, which is this evening, I'll show you how I'm going to insert that photo. So that's what we have. We have, I printed off, that started out as a 5x7 photo. I cut that 5x7 photo in half. So really, it looked like that, right? It was just a piece of 5x7 photo paper. It was, not separated. I used the Epson PictureMate PM400 printer. That is the printer that I've used probably about 6 or 7 years, and it's what I use for 95% of what I do in my traveler's notebook. It's a pretty awesome little printer. It is linked in the description box of the video. But what makes that printer super powerful, in my opinion, is the Epson Creative Print app. So the Epson Creative Print app is a very robust app. It's available both in the Apple Store and in the Android, Google, whatever store. You can tell I'm an Apple, so I don't know much about that other side. But it's available in both. It's a free app. But basically, that app, the power behind that app is that there are a bunch of pre-configured templates, okay? So like this is a pre-configured template with 8 photos. This is a pre-configured template with 4 photos. Tons of pre-configured templates. So basically, you are opening up the app, you are picking a pre-configured template, and then the app has access to your camera roll. So then you just go find the photos that you want to put in each of the spots on the pre-configured template. So you can do all different kinds of things. You could do 4x6, you could do 5x7, you could do 3.5x5. But that is, for the most part, how I am getting my little tiny photos, right? My little tiny photos. I can change the template in order to get larger photos or smaller photos. So sometimes I would use them this way as a 5x7. Other times I might cut each of those apart. There's just a lot of different things you can do. So that is what I had done here. And then I just cut that in half. So I basically have 2 long 7-inch photos that are about 2.5 inches wide. Real quick, let me just see. Hello, look at you guys. Beck Cooper, also from Melbourne. So Beck and Elizabeth, are you guys like having a party together? Do you guys know each other? I mean, that's probably like saying, hey, I'm from New York, and someone else says, hey, I'm from New York. And then you'd say, do you know each other? I realize that is probably not a thing, but just curious if you guys do. Hello, Justine, nice to see you. And hello, Nancy. Nancy Mars, you have a comment in the west sky. Not visible again for 80,000 years, and you got to see it. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Nancy. That's amazing. Hello, Denise Kikason from Middle Tennessee. It is your first time. I love that, Denise, and I'm so glad that you popped in to say hello. Welcome. And hello, Shirley, Big Cheryl. I'm so glad that you popped in and said hello. Shirley is here with us often, but is usually a lurker. So thank you, Shirley. That makes me happy. Becky, thank you for the reminder. Thumbs up, friends. If you are watching, thumbs up. That is the easiest way that you can support any content creator. That would be me, right? Anybody that you watch on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or Knock Knock or Bip Bop, I don't know. You know all the things, probably way better than I do. But the easiest thing that you can do is give a thumbs up. That is the best support. Okay, so back to my photos, right? I have my photos here. And because I didn't save that page in the middle, I needed to make a little hinge. So my hinge is 7 inches tall. It is the length of my photos. And this is about, 1 3/4 inches-ish wide. This doesn't really matter. For me, I want it to really not be very wide. I just want to have enough that my photos can kind of hang on to that. The wider it is, the more bulk it is going to add kind of in between my page. So I scored that in half. And then remember, because I'm spatially challenged ahead of time, I figured it out and then wrote where the photos are going. All right, so I'm just going to put this here so you can see if you decide you want to do something like this. Here's my little tent, right? As we open it up like that, adhere photo number 1. And then we open it like this, adhere photo 2. All right, so there it is. Photo 1 is on the right, and then I turn it over, and photo 2 is on the left. And that's probably something that I should make like a template for, because after we do it tonight, I won't remember. But that's okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, here's my first photo. My first photo, I'm going to adhere right here. So we'll get my little tape runner out and just run it right along there. And these are just photos of some things this October, right? Things that I like about Halloween, because that's what the list is about. Sometimes, I'd say probably more often than not, I am not adding photos. And the reason for that is sometimes I'm making a list and I don't have a photo. Or it's too much trouble. Honestly, sometimes it's too much trouble to go find photos and print photos and all of that. I think a lot of times that's what prevents people from maybe working on a project, is that you may not have the photo and you think, well, I have to have the photo, and then I've got to go look through all my photos, and then I don't print all my photos, and so then I've got to go to the basement and go through the box and boxes of photos. You don't have to have photos for everything. So another reason why I think doing our creative listing is super approachable, because there's no pressure. You don't have to add photos. All right, so I've added photo 1 on one side, and then photo 2 is going right here. So basically I just made a little sandwich, right? This is, what's going on there? There's like a piece of, oh, I know, there's a piece of plastic in there, I think. Oh yeah, no. I need my friend Lizzie here. Hang on, let me see if I can get this. I might have to have Nick go grab me another one. Just an insert. I mean, one of these guys, until I can figure it out. Hang on, friends. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on, hang on. We'll just put this right here for 1 second. Hey, Nick. Honey, can you do me a favor? I need another one of the, alright. Shut up. But you know where it is. It's on the pegboard. Okay? Alright. Oh, I don't know if you guys could hear him. He's pretending. He's lamenting. Like he has to help. He's lamenting. It's all good. Until he gets back, I will use this one. Okay. Isn't that sign very fun? That was a very nice thing that Lindsay Hellman made for me. So that if I need to stop and grab something, now I've got adhesive on my fingernail. If I need to stop and grab something, you don't think that I just, that we're just stuck. All right. Let's put that over there for a sec. And let's get the rest of that. So this guy, ooh, we also want to put a little bit here. That's the back side of that photo. All right, I've turned it upside down because I'm right-handed. Much easier for me to do it that way. So I basically just made a little sandwich, right like that, okay? Here is the front, and there's the back side. This is now the piece. This is like the little hinge. It's the little hinge that I can now put underneath this piece. Will you do that for me?
You have 12 bucks?
12 bucks? Why?
Well, I'm not going to let you have this. Get to buy it.
Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever, boss man. He is not the boss, let me tell you. He is
I'm
really
the boss of you.
You're not the boss of me. Okay, friends, so if you were with us on Saturday, Sam and I were doing this a lot back and forth. We just have a very we just like to have fun. We're all very sarcastic people. Okay, so here's my little hinge.
This isn't out.
What?
Oh, a bunch left in there.
Oh, I know, but there's something stuck in it. Oh,
Mom,
I need to.
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
dear?
you're wrong. Reggie is in charge of everyone.
Oh, Reggie's the boss of all of us?
Reggie runs this house.
Okay, you're right. He does, especially at 4 in the morning when he gets me up. All right, friends. Hello. Just don't mind us. We're all good. I need to put adhesive on both sides, right? So again, I'm doing this because I had already kind of put that page down. So all I'm going to do is come in here and do that, like that, and like that. All right, so now I have added a little page in between. Like I said, normally what I would do would be to just cut the in-between page down pretty significantly and then use that to attach to or make the sandwich to. Now, as we were working, There was another thing that I realized that I didn't add a title over here to my list. I forgot to add the title. So we kind of thought, and I think maybe it was Marilee. Marilee said, why don't you add a sticker, like a little label sticker to this little in-between guy, right? And so I thought, that's a great idea. So I took one of my just regular old label stickers and I wrote the title, Favorite Things for Halloween. And obviously I left it on the sheet because until we were ready to do this, I didn't, I really wasn't ready to do anything yet. Now, I had thought that maybe it would go up here, but because of where I placed it, it really can't go up there because it would stick out the top of my insert. So I could put that over here, or I could, do I have another one that size? No, I don't have another one that size, which means what I'm going to do is probably do two little circles, and I'll do a circle here and then a circle on the back side. So I need a little stamp. I think I probably did I put it away? Oh, it's right here. I am going to, could I show you that insert idea but with washi tape? Yes, absolutely, Diane. So there's really two ways that you can do something like that. The other way that you can do it is with washi tape, and it is called a tip-in. It's called a tip-in when you do that. The reason why I didn't want to do a tip-in on this photo, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second, is because you're doing that with washi, and really my photos are kind of narrow. I would have taken up, maybe a quarter or half-ish of an inch along that side of the photo and along that side of the photo. So I'd lose, maybe, 15% of the photo that I wouldn't be able to see. So the way that you would do that differently, and let's just take this one that I'd been working with last week. Let's just pretend like this was it, okay? So the way that I would do that, I would, let me show you that. Actually, I can show you that right here because we did it a couple weeks ago. This was a list that we did back on October 1st. This is the same idea, but I did it with a postcard. So when you were doing a tip in, basically you're taking whatever you want to tip in this case it would be the postcard. You'll see that little kind of Mickey and Minnie washi that gets adhered partially to whatever I'm trying to tip in, meaning the postcard, and then partially in whatever I am trying to tip into, which is the insert. So part of the washi's on the page itself and part of the washi's on the postcard. So you do that on one side, and then you turn to the other side and you do the exact same thing. Part of the washi is on the postcard and part of the washi is on the insert. So that is called a tip in. This one was okay because I was only losing sky and it's a lot wider. But with this one, I didn't want to do a tip in with the washi because again, I'd lose too much of the photo. So two different ways to approach the same thing or the same need would be adding something into your traveler's notebook, adding another page. All right. Beach Gal said, love that photo page. Yeah, kind of a fun thing, right? Diane, let's see. Becky said, very cool idea. Hello, Taylor from Florida. Okay. All right. So I now just need to do my little title here. So I think what I'll do, I will pull this back out again. This is, these are the mini icons. This is the mini icons Halloween stamp set. That is what I've used for my little bullets over here, those fun little ghosts. And that is what my plan was. Well, actually what I did when I was going to use that square, but because I only have one square, now I'll do it in circles. So let's see what we want to do. I could do, maybe I'll do this little trick or treat guy. Or the bag. Let's do the little trick or treat bag. Let's just do that. Let's make it easy. All right, so let's grab our stamping block. And, ooh, that almost fell off. I am going to go with the smallest. Hello, Vicki Booten. How are you, my friend? I'm going with the smallest stamping block that I have that will fit that particular stamp. If you are a tentative stamper, or maybe you are hesitant to stamp, maybe you don't like to stamp, that is one of the first things that I would suggest to you is have varying sizes of stamping blocks. You want to try to right size your stamping block to your stamp. It makes life much, much, much easier that way. So when I say right size, that is right sized, right? It fits pretty well as opposed to that, right? If I put this little tiny stamp on that big giant stamping block, it will work, but I probably won't like the way that it looks because I'm going to have a very difficult time handling that block with that little tiny stamp and trying to get that to stamp evenly. Okay, so that's tip number one. Tip number two is to stand when you are stamping. I think that's probably the biggest impact, honestly. If you stand while you're stamping as opposed to sitting, I always joke. When you're sitting, these are your little T-Rex arms. You don't have a lot of range of motion with your arms. When you're standing, you have much more range of motion. And you want to have range of motion when you're stamping because you have leverage this way. If I'm like this, I don't have much leverage, but when I'm standing, I have a lot of leverage. It also gives me kind of a bird's eye perspective. I'm going to have a greater chance of having a successful stamp when I do that. And that's in my opinion, but it works for me. It works for me. All right. Oh, Denise, I love it. Denise said, hi, Vicki, took your advice and decided to check out Lael. Well, I am so glad you did, Denise. I was going to ask how you found me because I'm always very interested in how people find me. Now we know. From Vicki B. All right, that's a cute one, isn't it? Look at that little kind of trick-or-treat bag. So maybe we'll do trick-or-treat bag up at the top, like this. Trick-or-treat bag, and another trick-or-treat bag on the back side. And I will write on my little sticker with my Sharpie, T-Rex arms. Yes, I know, T-Rex arms. All right, and everybody can envision that, right? That's why I think that helps, because you're like, T-Rex arms, I totally get it. All right, so this is favorites about Halloween. And then on the back side, I can do the same thing. Favorites about Halloween. And again, I have to do two because it's a sticker, right? I'd like them to sandwich our little page there. Okay, so there we go. We'll put this little guy right here. And then we'll do this little guy on the back side of our page. Like that. And that is our list for last week. So we just needed to finish up a couple of those things. And you know what? I did not date that either. So I'll just keep it simple. I'll just write October 2024 right there. And now it is done. Okay, so the next page, or not the next page, the second list that we did when we were together last week was this one, Controversies. Controversies, and we kind of joked about that. These are like the fun kind of controversies, like candy corn, yay or nay. And you know, when you're here with me, the answer is yay, not nay. We can't be friends if you say nay to candy corn. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate. Are you a Mac person or a PC person? Are you Apple or Android? Crunchy or smooth peanut butter? Over or under when it comes to the toilet paper roll. So just kind of a fun thing there, just a fun little list that we did. Okay, so when we were together on Saturday, we had talked about doing something like this, and then we had also talked about doing a Dutch door. And this is a Dutch door. I am not going to use this today. When we are together listing again, I will use this concept for my list, okay? So we'll come back to that. So the first list that we are going to work on today is when we need to pick up the list that we did not finish on Saturday. We didn't even start on Saturday, and that is in the news. So we're going to hit that in a minute. Well, probably in about an hour. But the first one we're going to start with tonight is fall in Utah. So I live in Utah. And fall is an incredible place. It's an incredible season, not place. I guess Utah's an incredible place to be in the fall. The leaves that we get, the turning of the leaves, they're unbelievable. They're out of this world. So my list is going to be things that I love about fall in Utah. Now, you may not live in Utah, so you don't. So your list can be fall in New England, or it could be fall in Melbourne. Although right now it is not fall, it's not autumn, it's spring, right? So with that in mind, you may not like fall, or you may not have fall. You may live in California, you don't have fall. So I always encourage you to change up a list topic for what works for you. Maybe it is spring wherever you are. Maybe it's summer, your favorite things about summer where you live. But for me, because it's fall, that's my list. I'm going to do fall in Utah. So this will be a 2-page list. I know, Elizabeth, I love that it's a great time for you guys down under. That's really fun. Becky loves candy corn, so we can be friends. Lisa, she's a nay on the candy corn, as with Vicky. Well, Vicky already knows that we're not friends, so she should just leave right now. And you know what? Maybe Lisa, you might want, no, I'm just kidding, of course. This is the way to eat candy corn if you didn't know, with peanuts. Candy corn with peanuts is unreal. Really, peanuts or cashews. So next time you see a candy corn, get a candy corn, put it in your mouth, get a peanut, put it in your mouth, and eat the two together. And I'm telling you, it's very good. All right. So this 2-page list, I am going to do a full-size photo along the right side. I mentioned that I use the Epson PictureMate PM400 95% of the time for my list, right? This is probably the other 5% of the time that I am not using the that particular printer. And this is why. I printed this photo that is a 5-inch wide by 8 1/4 inch tall photo. That is the size of my traveler's notebook insert. So I wanted this photo to fit the entire page. There is a way that you can do that on the Epson PictureMate. You need to know Photoshop. So I know Photoshop, but I don't use my Epson for that. I have another printer that I use for that. So this is basically what I did. I pulled that photo up in Photoshop. I resized it to 5 by 8.25, and I printed it on an 8.5 by 11 piece of photo paper, okay? And then I cut it out. That may be way beyond what you want to do. There is a company called Persnickety Prints, and some of you are very familiar with them and order your photos through them. They are located here in Utah. It is a women-owned business. Shari Pack owns Persnickety Prints and is a wonderful person, but Persnickety Prints does some amazing things. They do all different kinds of different sizes of photos, but they are darkroom printed. They're processed using darkroom, the process, I guess. I don't know how to say that. So she does a thing where she'll like dump Diet Coke on a photo, and it's fine because it is processed using darkroom processing. Anyhow, they do amazing things. And their prices are very reasonable. I bring that up because they do traveler's notebook prints, and they do 2 different sizes of traveler's notebook prints. So if you want this look, but you don't want to have to know how to do all the things, you can go to persnicketyprints.com and you can order prints that are this size. So just pay attention to the sizing, because there are 2 different traveler's notebook sizes. When we talk about traveler's notebook inserts, right? We talk about a standard and we talk about a standard wide. So this is a standard wide, what I use. It is 5 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches tall. Wanda, yes, you can do collages. You can do collages through their either their app or on their website. So this would be a this would be a standard size. This is 4.33 by 8.25. So they do both prints. They may not call them standard and standard wide. So your best bet, if you're looking at something like that, is to just look at the measurements. If you order traveler's notebook inserts from me, you are getting 5 by 8.25. All right. So with that said, I have my photo. This is a photo that I took when Nick and I went to go look at the leaves a couple Fridays ago. It's interesting because I took almost the exact same photo in almost the exact same place several years ago. This is not edited. This is what it looked like. There's no editing here done to that photo. It is those colors, and the sky was that color. So those are aspen trees. We have a lot of aspen trees in Utah, and that's one of my favorite things about Utah. And one of my favorite things about Utah in the fall is, I just want to put this down. One of my favorite things about Utah in the fall is the beautiful colors, and that we get aspens, which generally go kind of yellow and gold. And then we get maples, right? That are, the beautiful oranges and reds. And let's see. Denise said, question, do you make your traveler's notebooks or do you purchase them? Denise, I actually manufacture them. So I have, and I'm not making them. I have them made in China and shipped to me. So you will find those on my website. I don't make my own, but actually I have made them in the past. There is a video here on my YouTube channel about how to make your own traveler's notebook inserts. So you could find that, hang on. Let me see if I can pull that back up. You can find that here on my YouTube channel. But I just find it easier to, because I make them. So I find it easier to, when I say I make them, I have to be careful about that. Because you mean, am I hand making them? Because I have them made for me. I have them manufactured for me. I find it easier to just use that. All right, so the reason I just had to pull that back up is because I got too close to the inside, kind of the little center, the margin, right? I got a little bit too close there, and when I did this, the page was having a little bit of a difficult time turning. So I just want to back that out a bit and not go quite to the center. All right, I need to give it enough room to move. And now it moves freely. Now it is fine. So now what I am going to need to do is to, I will do this later. I will need to come in and just trim that excess because it was trimmed to 5 inches wide. So I needed it to be a little bit narrower, if that makes sense. So let me just, before I get too far, I want to round these corners because my inserts have rounded corners. And so I like to round the corners of kind of whatever I'm working on. So there's the start of my right-hand page. Yes, thank you, Gerda. Gerda's like, round the corners in all uppercase, right? Nancy said, my picture would be the rows of dry field corn. Yes, Nancy, if you're new, Nancy lives in Illinois, and Nancy is a farmer. And she has shared some amazing photos of the farm, the machinery that she runs and operates on the farm. So yes, that would be what would be in your list, wouldn't it, Nancy? Probably one of your things. I always look for, if I want to do a large photo like that, you want something that's going to have a lot of impact, right? There's not a lot going on in that photo. So you can really kind of focus on what's happening. There's not, it's not super busy, and you're able to just focus on that. All right, so let me get these little Halloween stamps put away, and then we will be ready for this side, or the other side, the left side. All right, so for the left side, I think I am going to use cider and donuts. So I've been using cider and donuts through a couple of lists this fall. I just barely added the 12 by 12 sticker sheets to the website. So I had not the 6 by 8 sticker books. I had the sticker books, and those sold out. And I am not going to be bringing those back in because we're getting close to kind of fall being over in the crafting world. People are moving on to Christmas. So I did have some extra 12 by 12 stickers from one of the kits that I did. So if you were trying to find the stickers, these are now on the website, a limited number of them. But one thing I forgot to mention, as we are working, the products that I am using, you'll find on my website at laelbymail.com. But if you look at the description box of the video, there is a link to a page on my website of what I'm using. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to narrow in on, if you're looking for something that I've used, it makes it a little bit easier for you to narrow in on. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do, let's decide if I want to put a piece of pattern paper there. We need to kind of decide that right off the bat. If I put a piece of pattern paper there, then I would write my list on, a plain cardstock, not on the pattern paper. But I need to find something that is pretty neutral, right? Kind of neutral in terms of, in terms of color. But look at that. That would go very well, right? Because they both have kind of that gold in there. That would work as well, but I don't know. That kind of gold really has a lot of impact. These are just papers that I had pulled out when we were last week, when we were using the collection. Just looking to see, I think it's going to be that. And we won't see a ton of that. That is also, that paper that we used there is also from Cider and Donuts. All right, so let's do this. Let's use that as our base. And that is going to be, I better pull out some washi here. We might want to do some washi from the collection. Let's grab those. And then we'll use a couple stickers to do a little bit of decorating. So that's obviously too wide. This is from a 6x8 paper pad, and we're using a 5" by 8.25. So the height is great, but the width is too wide. So we need to trim that down. And when I am starting with a piece of pattern paper as the base, I generally trim that to 4 3/4. So I trim to 4 3/4 because that will give me a nice even white border all around my page. So now it is 8 by 4 3/4 as opposed to 5 by 8 1/4, right? I basically just taken off a 1/2 inch. And then before we do anything, we want to round those outer corners because, we did it on the right. We want to do it on the left. So that will be the base. That will be the base of our page. Now, I won't write my list on there. Obviously, that's way too busy for me to write my list on there. So we need another piece of paper. And I think what I will do, I kind of go back and forth between using a just plain white cardstock and sometimes I'm pulling in one of my 2 paper packs. So 2 different paper packs. This one is a 6x8 lined paper. Okay, so like your regular school rule. And then there is also a grid or graph. So it's just kind of takes a really plain piece of white cardstock that I didn't normally be doing my list on, and just kind of takes it up a notch, right? So I think we'll use the line paper here. Now, the first thing I need to decide is, do I want to incorporate that red line along the edge, or do I want to not? And why not? Sure, let's incorporate that red line along the edge. It's kind of my little margin. If I do that, I don't know. I've never really done anything like that vertically. So the reason why I might think I might not want that there as I'm writing my list, my brain would tell me, like in school, to not write in the margin, to write to the right of the line. But then that would look a little bit odd. I think from a design perspective, you'd be like, why is there that blank space over there? So then I could think about putting like a strip of washi there, which if I put a strip of washi there, that would definitely work. But then I am now getting pretty narrow in terms of my writing area for my list, right? So I'm, now my writing area of the list is more like, I don't know, that wide by that wide. So that's pretty narrow. So all of that is going to lead me to the conclusion that I'm going to rotate that and not use that part for this particular list. Not that I wouldn't use it another time, but just for this particular list. So if you are new, I like to talk through as I am making decisions. So normally, if you're working on a project, all of those things are going through your head. You're like, okay, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I turn it? Okay, no, I don't like that. I'm going to do this. But when we are live, or when I'm live like this, I like to walk through those internal thoughts, right? Because I think it's helpful. I think it's helpful for you guys to hear why I do what I do. Which leads me to the fact that I now talk like that all of the time, even when I'm not with you guys. So for example, earlier today, I was working, I was trying to replace the ink in my printer, one of my printers. the printer that I used to print that photo. And Lily and Denise that work for me were here, and they are, working on a big make and take for an event I'm teaching at. I lost my little place there. And so I'm over at the printer going, okay, all right, so I got to take this one out. And I'm literally saying all these things out loud, which we all do in our head, right? Mentally, you're saying, okay, I got to take that out and wait, that's backwards. And okay, wait, I got to make sure to do this first. And that little error says I better do this. You're thinking through all those things in your head, but because I'm so used to talking like this over the last 4.5 years, because as I'm working, I kind of have to talk and fill the space, right? I'm so used to talking through everything I'm doing that now I just talk like that all of the time. All right, so there we go. And that, I don't know, that's pretty, I think it's okay. I think it'll work. So that's pretty small. What I should have done ahead of time, because I want to use Tally Alpha. Will I be able to fit that? Might have to do that over. I'm going to use the Tally Alpha. This is a sans serif font, meaning it doesn't have like the little, like the little feet. What I mean by that, let's see. Oh, here we go. So Reggie Alpha is a serif font. These little guys, like the little caps on the letters, the little feet on the letters, those are serif, okay? This one is called sans serif, meaning without a serif. So Tally Alpha is a sans serif stamp set, and I thought I would use that for the title, Fall. And so what I need to do is make sure that Fall will fit across left to right on that paper that I just cut. And if it doesn't fit left to right, then before I get too far, I need to cut another piece, right? So let's look. Notice I haven't adhered that down yet because I might be a little bit too tight. I mean, it will work, right? They'll be pretty close together, but it will work, right? It'll be okay. Let's just do it. Okay. So before I do that though, now I said let's just do it. Before I do that, this is going to be pretty stark compared to this, right? So I think I need to soften this up a bit. And the way I will soften that up will be by inking the edges of that piece. So let's just look. Aged mahogany could work, but I think that will give it, well, you know what? Maybe we'll use aged mahogany and then I'll also stamp in aged mahogany. Let's do that. Okay, so I am pulling out aged mahogany and my back is to you, so I might sound like I'm in a tunnel. Pulling out aged mahogany. I'm pulling out the distressed oxide. I exclusively use the distress inks with the exception of black. And I'll talk about black when I use it in a minute. This. And I'll talk in a minute also about why I use distress oxides. So I need that and I need this little guy. So I have pulled out my little storage case. This is how I store all of my little foam pieces, and this is how I'm going to ink the edges. So that is aged mahogany because I wrote aged mahogany there. I also colored that little circle and wrote aged mahogany on that. So it's really easy for me to keep track of my colors. I do not want to mix colors. Nancy, I'll answer your question in just a second. That's a great question. I don't want to mix colors in my same little foam thing here. When I'm using a distress oxide is a pigment-based ink. It is blendable. So if I put, let's say I put dried marigold on here, and then later I put aged mahogany on here. Dried marigold is now gone, right? And really aged mahogany is gone as well because if I put both inks on there, it's going to be a combination of those two. So they say, right? They say you should not mix your colors. That's why I have one of those for each color. They also say that you should not mix your types of inks, even if it's the same color. So if I have, let's say I have aged mahogany also in a distress ink, as opposed to an oxide, a distress ink's a dye-based ink. It has different properties than the oxide, a pigment-based ink. They say you should not cross-contaminate your types of ink because it will also affect the properties of the ink. So pigment-based inks are blendable. They take a little bit longer to dry. Dye-based inks dry very quickly. So you can, if you're trying to use the same little guy for both, you're not going to get the results that you may desire. All right, and that's all I'm going to go into when it comes to that, because you guys know I don't do mixed media. The reason I like a distressed ink, well, that's not true. This is how I do mixed media, right? Look at, I'm adding a little bit of, color of ink to the side of my paper. That's about as mixed media as I get. The reason that I prefer a distress oxide ink, pigment-based ink in this situation, versus a distress ink, a dye-based ink, I really like when I am stamping to have a very nice, complete look to my stamp. So when I'm stamping the word fall, I don't like there to be any little breaks in those letters, right? I want to have a nice, solid inked, a nice, solid stamped letter. And for me personally, remember, everything that you hear is just, I'm not an expert. I just play one on TV, the dentists and the doctors, right? I just play one on TV, all my opinion. So for me, a distress oxide gives me a better outcome if I want to have a nice, solid impression of my stamp. Now, I don't do mixed media. So if I was looking to have something blend and I wanted to use watercolor and gesso and all the, mayonnaise, I don't know, whatever you use with your mixed media. I'm kidding with mayonnaise. I don't know, maybe you could. Well, just Vicky. Maybe Vicky could figure out a way to work mayonnaise into her project. You may do things, you may like things differently than I do, but that's why I like what I like, because I use it for what I use it for. All right, so now I'm pretty much done with that little guy. That's all I'm going to do. I only used it to ink the edges. Now, this is why I'm not a mixed media person, because when I do this, my little fingies have to get, my digits there get dirty. I do not like my fingers to get dirty. And now they're dirty. But that's okay, because when I say dirty, I mean they're inky, right? Not dirty, they're just inky, but I don't like inky fingers. And I use a lot of white in my list. So it's a good idea for me to make sure that I get that ink off my fingers, or I will end up with a nice aged mahogany colored fingerprint on my list. Okay, so we are there. I'm inked up, so now I can come in here and adhere that. But I think before I adhere, I'm going to do my stamping. One thing that I want to mention, what I'm doing here, I am working on my list. I call it off the page, all right? I call it off the page. I'm not working on it directly here yet. I'm working on it over here, because then I can take this when I'm done and adhere it here. When I can do that, especially if I am, doing my list on something else, I will work on my work surface. It's just easier to work on your work surface than to be working in your traveler's notebook, right? Because it's a smaller surface and it's got some little lumps and bumps. And if we do a list directly on the paper, we'll talk about how you work around, prevent the lumps and bumps in what you're doing. Okay, so now, stamping block. I need a stamping block. So let's see what we are looking for here. Will it fit there? Oh yeah, it will fit, because for me personally, and this is just a personal preference, when I am spelling a word with stamps, I do not spell the entire word on my stamping block. So I wouldn't put F-A-L. Now, I only have one L, so I'd have to do the other stamp later, but still, I do each stamp independently. The reason I do each stamp independently is I prefer to get my stamps as close together as possible. And I am limited when I am lining my stamps up one next to the other by the little kind of buffer, right? The little buffer, the extra material that is around the border of each stamp. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I did not clean this well last time I used it. You'll see it looks like it is black. It is black. It would not affect my stamped image, but I really feel like I should clean that off because I think it gets confusing. So there, now it's good. Now it's nice and clean, and I just cleaned that off with a stamp chamois. This is a very important part of the stamping process. If you are cleaning, you want to dry that off before you apply your ink. I cannot stress how important that is, especially if you are working with an ink that is water reactive, like a distress oxide, like a pigment-based ink. They react to water, which if you were trying to get an effect of the ink that reacts with water, that's amazing. But if you don't want it to get kind of blotchy and kind of sometimes change color a little bit, you don't want it to react with water. So you want to make sure that you dry before you stamp. So that's what I just did. Cleaned and dried before I stamp. Another thing when it comes to stamping, and these are all things that I learned the hard way, because 5 years ago I hated stamping. I hated it because I had no clue what I was doing. I never liked the way it looked. The ink was never like full, and they're just things that I didn't know. So all the things that I go through when we are stamping together are things that I have learned, and again, in my opinion, make stamping better. I have a couple of videos in the works. One of them is, there's actually 2 stamping videos in the works that have to do with kind of tips and tricks and techniques for successful stamping. There are a lot of the things that I go through when we are together, but putting those in a video so you can watch them where I'm not like trying to list at the same time, right? All right, so there we go. I always test stamp first. The reason I test stamp first, a couple reasons. Number one, I want to make sure that that stamp is clean, meaning there's no lint or little hair or something that would prevent a nice, complete image of my letter in this case, right? So everything looks good there. I also want to make sure that it is on the block straight. You may have noticed the way that I picked it up off the block was picked it up onto the block was I put my letter down. I got it straight on my work surface and then put the block on top of it to pick it up. But doing that to make sure that it's straight, making sure I like the color, and then especially if I'm spelling a word, to make sure that I've spelled the word correctly, right? Much better to find out here in your little test paper that you did not spell it correctly as opposed to on your project. The last thing really is to make sure that you have a feel for the amount of pressure that you need to apply. And that really comes into play more maybe with your smaller stamps. You'll learn with smaller stamps, you don't need to apply a lot of pressure. If you apply a lot of pressure, then really what you're doing is flattening the stamp material, which is really going to kind of make it blurry in some areas. So that's also what you can do to test. You're just kind of testing how much pressure you need to apply. All right, so I'm going to re-ink this, and I am going to stamp it again. Just because that ink sat on there for a minute, I'm going to test stamp it again to make sure it's okay, still okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I need to decide where I'm lining this up. I think I will I think I will use one of these horizontal lines for my guide as to where I want to stamp. So if we want to go right here, we'll just make a little pencil mark so I remember that's where I want to be. And I need to come fairly close to the edge, right? Because we know that we've got to fit 4 kind of larger letters there. All right, so inking that up really well, I am just going to pull this a little bit closer to me. I want to make sure I have a really nice bird's eye view directly over. So I'm pulling that really pretty close to me. I hope you can still see that. And we are going to align that right there. Now, when I'm stamping, I want to be confident, right? I don't want to be afraid. If I'm afraid, the chances of me bobbling that stamp are probably going to be, I don't know, fairly high, because I'm not too sure. What if I do it wrong? I want to go in nice and confident. I don't want to rock the stamp. If I rock the stamp left to right, I am applying undue pressure along the edges, which means it's going to look blurry, all right? All of these things you just learn by stamping, and this is the best way to do that, right? The best way to learn is by practicing. So if I come in here and I will press, actually I'm gonna rock back and forth, and I'm gonna way over-exaggerate this. I really wanna over-exaggerate that. But see what happened when I rocked that? Do you see how it gets kind of blurry around the edges? Now there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But personally for me, I like a really nice crisp. So you see my crisp here, and you'll see here how it's just kind of blurry, right? So those are the things that you learn as you stamp, and the more you stamp and the more you practice, then generally the more that you will like what you're doing. All right. So I really should clean my stamps in between. Jackie just asked a great question that I saw. Oh, I know. So I'm going to answer this question from Jackie, but I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to get fall stamped, and then I'm going to do the giveaway that I talked about, the anonymous donor giveaway. So the way you participate in a live giveaway is through the chat. So we'll do 2 giveaways tonight. One will be the live giveaway. You participate in the chat. The other one will be an after party giveaway, meaning anyone can participate. They don't have to participate live, but the after party giveaways happen after the video is done and you leave a comment on the video itself. So this is a live giveaway. So as soon as I finish fall, I will stop. I'll scroll wherever my finger stops. That will be the person that wins the amazing anonymous donor prize. And usually what happens is I say all that and then I forget. So if I forget, you guys have to remind me. That's your job. Your job is to remind me. All right, because I just get so excited about what I'm doing and then I just forget. I get carried away. All right, so now, where did those letters go? Here they are. Okay. So let's see. There are a couple questions. So I'm gonna. Where was the question? Somebody just asked about. How often do you re-ink your ink pads to keep them giving you such a crisp print? Jackie, I never have. I never have re-inked an ink pad. Any of my Distress Oxides, I've never had to. Now, I will tell you, we've had this conversation before, and I don't mean you and I mean on my lives, we've had this conversation before. When I have tried using a re-inker in the past, not with an oxide, I have not had very good success. And a couple people agreed. So I can't say that re-inkers work or they don't work because I haven't done them enough. I haven't used them enough. But for me, the times where I tried it on different brands of stamp ink in the past, I didn't have a good success. So I've never had to do it. Someone else that is here, if you have an experience with that, feel free to chime in. All right, now there's my A. And then there was another question I wanted to answer. Oh, I know. Someone had asked, could I stamp on the photo? I could with the right ink, and that is so important. Like, I can't stress how important that is. If you have the right ink, you can stamp on a photo. And you're like, well, how do I know I have the right ink? I never stamp on a photo. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I've done a little test and stamped on a photo. When I did that, I used this one. I used the VersaFine Clair. I only used black. And I had success. But I also tried it. I tested it first on an old photo. Or if you are doing something like I just did, where, and you guys didn't see me do this, but when I cut the photo away from the large 8.5 by 11 sheet, you could test it on, the excess that you're cutting off. If I was going to stamp on a photo, I would probably use a StazOn ink, STAZ-ON, because that is supposed to work well on slick materials when you're stamping. But I don't really do that. So I don't know why. I just don't. I don't like StazOn. That's why. I do know why. I don't like StazOn. I do not like StazOn. You guys don't know what the giveaway is. You don't know what the giveaway is. I'll tell you in a minute. Before I, it's a good one. Trust me. Well, they're all good. It's a giveaway. All giveaways are good, right? If it's something free, of course it's good. But this one is this one is a very generous one. This one is generous. So yeah, we don't know yet. All right, it's a surprise. Hello, Elise, and that reminded me, I also just saw a minute ago, because chat's moving fast, I saw my friend Lindsay Stout just popped in. Lindsay, those of you that are in the Lail by Mail Facebook group, you may have seen a photo that I posted today. It was a photo of a Halloween costume that Lindsay wore at a retreat that I was teaching at, a Halloween retreat I was teaching at earlier this month. You guys, she dressed up as me. And you know what? If you're not in the Lail by Mail Facebook group, it is worth it to you don't have to pay anything. Just if you're on Facebook, search Lail by Mail. You'll see a Facebook page and a Facebook group. The Facebook group is private. That's the one where you want to see it. Anyhow, she dressed up as me. and she was riding a squirrel, a blow up squirrel. And it's the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. So some of you saw it, but yes, it was the best Halloween costume ever. It was so funny. You should have seen my face. Well, I didn't see my face, but I'm sure it was quite amusing when if you saw my face when she walked out in it. It was so funny. Okay, we're just about there. She even bought a blonde wig. She's a graphic designer. Well, she does lots of things, but part of what she does, she's a graphic designer. Right, Linz? And she made a t-shirt using the logo in my font. And she even went on Amazon and bought glasses that look like my glasses. So, I mean, she really went all in. She went all in. It was a hoot. Best Halloween costume ever. I sent it to my family, the photo to my family, and they were killing themselves laughing. They thought it was so funny. Okay, guess what? I just finished my stamping. So let's ask a quick question. Should I tell you what the project, what project? Should I tell you what the prize is first, or should I draw the person? I'm gonna tell you what the prize is first. So here's the deal, friends. This very generous person reached out to me earlier this week and said, Lael, oh yes, we got lots of pictures together. So I posted a picture of her in the group. I'll post another one either tonight or tomorrow of the two of us together. It was really funny. All right, so I'll tell you what the prize is first. This amazing, generous person reached out and said, hey, I would like to buy the Gratitude Traveler's Notebook Project Kit along with a Traveler's Notebook, and I would like to have you draw that as a prize and send it to the person. Isn't that like that? I just was so amazing. That just so very generous. So thank you, anonymous donor, so very much. So you guys, I'll show you what that is. I'll show you what it is before I draw it. So here we go. If you haven't seen this, you can find it on my website at laelbymail.com. But this is a traveler's notebook that you document what you're grateful for, okay? And it includes all the things that you need, the stamp set, the traveler's notebook, everything that you need to put the project together, along with the class where we make it together. So this is the finished project. Now, I say finished project because I'm not you, and I can't like document what you're grateful for. I can make some suggestions, which in fact I do in, there's a little handout in the project, in the kit, but anyhow, so you are kind of decorating your traveler's notebook pockets. You are working with 2 inserts, but in the insert, we're using the stamp set, the Grateful stamp set, and we're going through lots of different techniques on how you can use, kind of do some fun things with your traveler's notebook insert, making little half pages, making Dutch door pages. There are also printables that are included in your kit, and you also get links to download the printables and print as many more as you like. But basically, you have enough sheets of the Today I'm Grateful For printable in the kit for the entire month of November. Now, I would encourage you to document beyond November, but you know, November. So you have enough to do every week in November. You've got your little prompts for the day of the week. If you can see, you have kind of that very subtle floral design in the background. Those I designed. So you have enough of those. And again, then going through, giving you ideas on how to do what we just did through the little photo, decorating your pages. Oh, look at this. Look at that. That we are using packing tape. And look at the packing tape is part of your kit, because I can't assume you have packing tape. So you get packing tape so you can do this. You also get a little package of different dried leaves. Isn't that fun? I've never done anything like that before. I saw that on Instagram, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have to do that. And then this was kind of the perfect project to do that with. All right, so little half pages, different things like that. Here's another one. Look at this one. This is using clear acetate to make a little window page. All right, make a little window page. And then your tip-ins and pockets and things like that. Doing a daily, if you want to do just kind of more of a list, a day-by-day list. And then another one here. There's a little, you have a little dried flower. So kind of doing a little window with the dried flower, making a paper clip. And then last thing is you have printables. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So then doing things you're grateful for month by month. So January through December. And then in class, we go through a whole bunch of different ideas on how you can use the stamp set, different things you can do with the stamp set. So anyhow, that prize, friends, very generously donated. And that is the project kit as well as the traveler's notebook. So now I'm going to scroll up, and the person that wins that is Linda Farrell. Linda Farrell, Linda Farrell. Linda Farrell, congratulations. You guys, the person even paid for the shipping. I can't even tell you. It's just, when I saw that, it almost made me cry. Because it's just so nice. So Linda Farrell, the way that you claim your prize is please send an email to lailbymail@gmail.com and let me know that you won that kit, and it's all paid for, everything, even shipping. We'll get that out to you next week. So congratulations, Linda, and yes, very, very, very thank you again to our nice, generous donor. Okay, yes, congratulations, Linda. Linda, I hope you're still here. Linda, let us know if you're here, okay? All right, let me clean this off and we will continue working. I think someone asked at one point that I saw, I don't know, chat was going very fast. I think someone, Scrappy Donor, you are amazing. Yes, Scrappy Donor. That is Scrappy Donor. Like I said, I saw Scrappy Donor earlier. She was here. I'm not sure if she's still here, but Scrappy Donor, now you have a nickname, Scrappy Donor. Linda, if you are here, please let us know you're here. It was Linda Farrell. Linda Farrell. If not, I've got to try to figure out how to contact Linda Farrell. All right, so here we go. We've done our stamping. Now, don't be sad if you're not Linda Farrell, because you still have another opportunity to win a prize. That would just be the after party, right? That means you leave a comment on the video when it's over. Anytime between now and we are listing together again, next on October 26th, Saturday, October 26th. So you leave a comment anytime between now and then. And that morning, I will draw an anonymous person, and we'll talk about what that anonymous person will win. Yay, Linda, you're here. I love that. I love it when the person that wins is still here. Awesome. Okay, so here we go. We've got that done. We've done our stamping here. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to do this here, and I'm going to say, what I love about fall in Utah. I think I can just do this right underneath there. Right? I think I can just draw that underneath there. Draw it. I think I can write it with my Sharpie. All right. Fall. What I love about fall in Utah. And then I will take my little ruler, and I'm just going to make a little kind of visual separator here in between that and then when I start making my list, because I will make my list using black, and I just like for there to be a little bit of a separator. All right, now before I start my list, I would like to add a little something down here because it's very plain, right? It's very plain. So I don't think I answered the question before. I was going to answer it and then I forgot. I'm using Cider and Donuts. So that's paper from Cider and Donuts, and now the 12 by 12 sticker from Cider and Donuts. That one is from the 6 by 8 paper pad. This one is from, it's a 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So it is on my website. All right, so if we added, kind of keep it subtle, we could just add maybe just keep it subtle and kind of keep with that same kind of yellowish tone. This guy could go right about here. Now, I need to decide before I do that if I want to add a little bit of washi. So I could add that guy, so Simple Stories washi, 5 rolls. 5 rolls come in a package with each of their collections. So the nice thing about the way they do it, there are 3 rolls that are the standard width, and there are 2 rolls that are narrow. And so I think on this one, I might just go with a narrow, because the scale of that and the scale of that is kind of maybe too thick for me. Like that's a little bit too thick. So if I want something pretty subtle, I will just do this. Shanita, hello Shanita. She said, I am so obsessed. So obsessed, she did in all uppercases. And then so she did lots of all uppercases, all uppercase. Shanita is so obsessed with this layout, Lael. Thank you, Shanita. But look at, you know why? It's probably because of that. It's probably because of the photo, because there's nothing real spectacular happening here, right? I mean, we did a little stamping, we did we've got a little bit of color, but other than that, it's, nothing too out of the ordinary. I think it's the photo. Although you can tell us what you find to be, why you're so obsessed with it. Oh, Linda, she's here feeling sorry for herself because she had dental surgery today. What an amazing treat. Thank you. Oh, Linda, I feel for you, my dear. Dental work, any kind of dental work, I detest. I just detest, and I have had a lot this year, so I feel your pain, sister. And when I say pain, I literally mean, well, I don't know. I don't know what you had done. I can just say, yes, I feel for you. I feel for you. I don't know. Dentist is not my favorite person. I love my dentist. He's been our dentist for like 30 years. I love him, but I don't like him. You know what I mean? I just don't like what he does. He's a nice man. I just don't like his profession. That's it. Okay. All right. So there we go. I need to come in and, because this is what I do. I got to do my little outline there because I do my little outline with everything. Before I start writing my list, and I don't recall who it was, but someone asked if I would ever stamp on a photo. This would be my alternative to stamping on a photo. This would be my alternative to stamping on a photo. You can use, what did I do with those? I know I had them out. I had everything out, all organized ahead of time. Where would those be? The rub-ons. Maybe I put them away. Oh, down here. All right. Oh, Reggie wants to come in. There we go. Come on, buddy. Come on. All right, rub-ons. So for me, I probably wouldn't stamp on a photo, but I would sure as heck, that's how you know I'm from Utah, because we say heck. I would sure as heck use a rub-on on a photo, right? A rub-on. So let's see what, I really don't want to do anything too, I really don't want to do any icons on there because for me, my personal preference, any kind of icon would really take away from everything that's happening there. I would be looking for a small word, right? So I could say, I love fall. Oh, I love fall. I could say happy fall. I could say give thanks, so cozy. But I think what I'm going to do, I am going to come in and, oh my gosh, you guys, we've been at this for an hour and a half. Just know whatever we get done tonight is what we get done. We're just having fun. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun because we're just playing and being creative and crafting together. All right. So I just opened that package of rub-ons. Rub-ons have been around for a long time. I have been paper crafting for 27 years. They have come in and out and come in and out, just like skinny jeans and low-rise jeans and claw bangs and fluorescent clothes, bell bottoms, right? Trends come in and out. Bell bottoms. Rub-ons they were in for a long time. They kind of disappeared for a long time, and they have been making a resurgence in the last probably year in our fun little industry. So when I pull out a brand new sheet of rub-ons, the very first thing I do is what I just did. I staple the rub-on sheet to the protective sheet. That's the protective sheet. That protective sheet is there to make sure you don't accidentally get rub-ons on your work surface or on part of your project where you didn't want it. So if I staple those two together, the chances of that happening now are going to be pretty slim. So first thing I do is staple those two together. So we're good. Now, what I would like to do, I think I would like to take that little thing right there that says I love fall. I don't want those things with it. I just want that. My next tip or my next kind of rule when I am working with rub-ons, I cut away what I want to use. Okay, I am cutting that away from the sheet. I am nowhere near talented enough to try to leave that on the sheet and not get anything else anywhere else, right? If I try to do this and then only rub on that, well, guess what's happening while I'm only trying to rub on that? Pressure is it kind of happening on my rub-ons, and that's how rub-ons work. You apply pressure and it transfers the design from the sheet onto whatever you're rubbing it onto. So I cut it off. It's just, I think it's, for me, that's the only way I can do it, is to cut it off. So now I have just this little guy to work with. I am going to now separate the backer sheet. And again, for me, I want to use tweezers to place it because that's pretty small. I'm going to have a much easier time placing that with my tweezers than if I'm trying to just lay that down. I think what I will do is put that right there in the center. Okay, now the next tip when it comes to working with rub-ons, don't let go, okay? Do not let go. So I'm taking my little rub-on applicator. I think that's a rub-on applicator from a 49 and Market rub-on. The Simple Stories rub-ons have just a popsicle stick, it doesn't matter, but I don't want to let go. So I am going to start by rubbing that on. You'll notice I just moved my finger, but I have never let go. The reason I don't want to let go, I'm going to just rotate this, is because if that rub-on moves, it just kind of skips. If it just moves even the teeny tiniest bit, the rub-on that hasn't rubbed on yet is also going to move, which means when I go to apply that, there'll be a skip or a space in between what I started and then when it moved, right? So the entire time I am holding on. I don't want to let go. We're being very clingy. You want to be clingy with your rub-ons. So I think it's done, but I don't know yet. So I am not letting go. I am still holding on. I'm going to grab my little tweezers and I'm going to start to peel that back. And if at any time as I'm peeling that back, I see part of that rub-on is still on the sheet, I'm going to lay it right back down, okay? I'm laying it right back down and it's okay because I haven't moved it. So if I was missing a little part, then I just do that and then lift it back up and then I'm not getting kind of like skips or breaks in my rub-on. So we're going to do that. We're going to come over here and then we're going to come over here and that looks great. The last thing I want to do, I'm going to take that and put it back on top and just kind of rub over that, okay? That will help to kind of make sure that that is, all of that rub on is just on nice and good and it's not going to lift. All right? I could even do that with my finger too. Look at that. That is the beauty of a rub-on as opposed to a sticker. If I put a sticker on there, well, stickers have usually a white border all the way around them. So then it doesn't look like, I don't get the effect that I like printed that on the photo or stamped it on the photo, right? So if you don't know how to print on your photos, don't worry about it. If you don't want to try to stamp on your photo, don't worry about it. Rub-ons can give you kind of that same effect, which I think that's very fun. All right, so whoever asked that question, can you stamp on a photo? I love the direction that took us. All right, I'm going to put these back. Okay, lots of fun things. And here's the thing, you guys, when we're working, for me, when I'm working in a traveler's notebook, it's very freeing because it's such a small space. If you are a scrapbooker and you're used to working in a 12 by 12 space for a layout or a 12 by 24, right, because you're doing a double page spread, this to me is so much more manageable because it's such a small space. I find I have a lot easier time designing in a smaller space than I do a larger space. All right, so there we go. The only other thing that I want to do before I'm going to start writing my list is I need something right here, right? I need something right here. What?
It's raining really bad outside. You should tell them that you might lose power.
Oh, all right. So Sam just poked his head in and said, hey, just so you know, it's raining really hard outside and you might lose power. So guess what? If all of a sudden I go dark, like really go dark, then you know that's why. So thank you, Sammy Lou. All right, so I need something right up here because I didn't quite, well, even, I mean, I'm pretty close to being even, but because our L doesn't have anything in here, it looks like I have this trapped white space there. So I'm gonna look for a sticker to put right there. And I already know, I just saw it. Okay. Well, I'd really like to use this one. The problem with this one is, it'll be okay. I really wish the acorn was here and the leaves were on the other side, right? I really wish that was flipped, but it's not. So that's okay. It'll work. It will still work. right? We can't be too picky. So we'll just do that. We're filling in that space. Now, so see the difference? See what that did? Like, looks just kind of plain Jane. And it's funny, when I look at it this way, I don't notice as much. When I look at what I'm looking at my iPad here and I see, sometimes when you look at it from a different perspective, you really notice that. I really notice that when I look ahead. So this guy we'll just put right here like that. And we partially covered the L, but we get it, right? We can still see that's fall. Now, for me, it's not done. I need to add something over here, something really small over here. The reason I need to add something small over here is this is one like canvas, right? I need to have a triangle. What I mean by a triangle, if you think about a visual triangle, I have these two pieces. They're kitty corner, right? If you look at that, it really needs something here to give us that visual triangle to kind of bring everything together. So I want something there. So we'll find something really subtle that could go down there. Well, you know what? I could do, what about this? I could do a rub-on. So if I wanted to kind of emulate that, I have something similar. Oh, all right, let's pull these out. Let's pull these out again. I could, let me just show you the difference between a sticker and a rub-on. We don't notice here really because we have white in play, but if I were to put this sticker down here, look at how it's kind of going to stick out like a sore thumb, right? It's sticking out like a sore thumb. Now, number one, it's not the right color. That's not the right color. I wouldn't use that color there, but do you see how that white around that sticker really kind of sticks out like a sore thumb? So I'm going to use a rub-on and then it will look, I think it won't stick out as much. This is why if you've ever like been shopping and you're like, well, I don't need the rub-ons and the stickers. They're basically the same thing. Well, yes, but also no, right? I think I can just do, let's look at both sheets. Hold on, let's look at both sheets and see what we have. That's too big. I want something pretty subtle. I think that one is probably not right either. I think it's going to be the acorn. I think the acorn is what I'd like to use. Or I could do, yeah, let's do acorn. Let's just do the acorn. Why not? Oh my gosh, you guys may start to hear. So let's talk while I'm doing this. Let's talk about fall in Utah because that's what this list is all about. Fall in Utah. Mother Nature gets very confused fall in Utah. We get all 4 seasons here in northern Utah. So we're 100 in the summertime. We, in the wintertime, get lots and lots of snow. We get all the leaves in the fall, and then spring, everything just looks dead because there's been snow sitting on it for 6 months. Well, not 6 months, but you know what I mean. So this week it has been mid-80s, which is very uncharacteristic for Utah. Very uncharacteristic for Utah this time of year. But, you know, Mother Nature gets a little messed up, and she's messed up. Ooh, I can hear the thunder. So today dropped about 20 degrees, and now I think it's hailing. We live at the base of a mountain, and there's a ski resort about, 15 minutes from our house. And that ski resort this weekend is supposed to get 12 to 24 inches of snow. Now, we won't see snow here. It's just enough of a, elevation difference. But yeah, that outside is making a lot of noise. But it's nice and cozy too. It's nice and cozy. You guys may be able to hear that. All right, so let's pull that off. Remember, I've been holding on the entire time. I haven't let go. I'm going to gently start to lift that. We know we're okay there. Move over here and let's see what we get. Yep, everything is good. So there we go again. So there's our little visual triangle. Okay, visual triangle. So I'm happy now. Now I am happy. Happy, happy, happy. Nancy said, love those fall colors there, Lael. We are spring here in New Zealand. So Nancy, do you call it fall or do you guys call it autumn? And so Maureen said the word fall looks way better with the acorn sticker there, right? So sometimes if you're working on a project and something doesn't look right? Something doesn't look right. There are 2 design principles that we covered, and you don't even need to know what those are, but you notice sometimes you look at a project and something was weird. The reason that looked weird, you had trapped white space. Now, trapped white space doesn't have to be on white. It could be on blue, but you basically had that space that looked odd because it was just kind of trapped, right? So we added something there that totally helped. And then that visual triangle, adding something over here, just kind of helped to pull all of that together. All right, now to our list. Becky said, hope the rain is moving east. We need the rain. I'm sure it is, Becky. Nancy, you call it autumn, right? That's what I thought. That is what I thought. And you guys, I've probably missed all kinds of chat. So if there's something I missed, just go ahead and type it in the chat again, and then maybe type it in all uppercase so then I'll see it. All right, so we are ready for our list. I have in my handy dandy little workbook that I use to kind of plan all of our sessions, I have the things on my list that I love about fall in Utah. Because I always have to reference something, right? I can never remember. So I need a bullet.
Do you hear it raining out there?
I can hear it raining, yes, I know.
Lightning.
It's lightning, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's at this time of year.
It is this time of year, I know. Yes, what a lovely family I have, aren't they? I mean, they're sweet, but this is funny. Sam comes in, Mom, you might lose power, and then Nick comes in. Can you hear the rain? Yeah. All right, so I pulled out now the fall mini icons. So before we were working with Halloween mini icons, now I pulled out the fall mini icons. And I just need to use something in here for a little bullet stamp in between the things that I am writing on my list. There's a cute little fox. There's a little raccoon. The fox could be cute, but I think okay, there's an acorn, but I think I'm kind of I've acorned out, right? I've got a couple different acorns on here, so I'm good there. I think I'll just use a little leaf. How about if we use that little maple leaf? We'll use that little maple leaf. And I'm going to grab my little cylindrical stamping block again. Those you'll find on my website. Those are one of my products. They're a set of 2. And the reason why these are really beneficial is because you have small stamping block, but it also gives you something to hold on to when you're stamping, right? And I think we could probably, I don't know, maybe, what do you think if we pull in just a little bit more color here instead of, because that's kind of bold, right? Using that aged mahogany is kind of bold. So what if we pulled in maybe a little bit of that just for my little leaf there? And I think maybe rusted hinge. Aged mahogany and rusted hinge are 2 colors that I used in my project for the Gratitude Traveler's Notebook project kit that I showed you. Oh, and I don't know what kind of a good marketer I am, because I don't think I ever told you that, yes, you can, those are still available on my website. So after I showed you that, because that was what our lovely anonymous donor bought from me to give away to someone. I showed you that, but yes, they're available on my website. Okay, what am I looking for? Rusty hinge. I know I put this back in because I just cleaned up today from all of my design work this week. I think I put it in orange. Oh, if you have not seen me use this before, yes, look at rusty hinge. I think that will be a good color to go there. Although, okay, maybe we want to look at the browns too. I have swatched all of my inks, okay? And this is the reason. When I am trying to decide what color I think I want to use, I think rusty hinge. It's much easier to do that and go through my colors as opposed to, getting out all my inks, all 80 some odd of them, right? All right, rusty hinge, right here. Now, this is another reason why we test things out, because we want to make sure that we like the way rusty hinge looks. So do that a little bit, and I think when we're doing our bullets, we could have our leaves going a whole bunch of different directions. So do we like that? I think that works out pretty well. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so now we're getting to our list. But here's the thing, you guys. Everything that we do when we're doing our listing, it's kind of 2 purposes. One purpose is purely for playing, right? Purely for playing, nothing else. Nothing else but purely for playing. I get different, that's where we test things out. Can we use a rub-on on a photo? Can we use a stamp on a photo? But sometimes you just have kind of a little small space to work in, so it's a little bit easier to play, I think. Now, it takes us longer when we're together. It takes me longer. when I am listing, because I'm talking and teaching and we get sidelined, and I'm trying to share, why I did what I'm doing and what have you. So it takes a little bit longer for us to list. But one of the reasons we do it is because we play. But the other reason we do it is because we're still telling a story, right? We're still telling a story. We're telling a story about why we like fall in Utah, at least for me. All right. One of the reasons I like fall in Utah is the fluctuation in temperatures. Do you ever do that? Like when you're spelling something, temperatures. You probably do that in your head. You probably don't say that out loud. Fluctuation in temperatures. The really warm days, then quickly turning too cold. Now, I didn't write that out ahead of time. All I wrote was hot days, temps fluctuating. So if I'm writing, right? If writing like that makes you nervous without kind of having a plan, then you should write it out ahead of time. But I just, kind of wing it. I know what the thing is, but then I just kind of wing it. All right, the yellow aspens. So the changing leaves, especially the golden aspen trees, which that's what you're seeing in that photo. All right, that's another thing I love in Utah. What I love about Utah in the fall. Rotate our little guy there. The red, orange, and maple oak trees. That's the next one, leaves, I guess. So the red, orange, and yellow maple and oak, I guess, leaves. It's not really the trees that are that color. I guess it's the leaves. Pamela, the 32-degree nights, right? Hi, Carla. Hello. Yes, Elise, February and Wednesday. Exactly. Totally. All right, you guys, so I'm curious. Depending on where you live, what do you love about this time of the year where you live? Do you have fall? The people from Texas tell me they have it for 3 minutes. People from California tell me they don't have it. But wherever you are, what do you enjoy about this time of year? Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest at Snowbird. Snowbird is one of the 2 ski resorts that is up the mountain, up the canyon, where we live. So they do Oktoberfest, which is always fun. Yummy food and beer. I'm not a beer fan, but the food I like. Denise said corn and soybeans being harvested. Wonderful. Pam says the hot temperatures are finally over. Denise said corn mazes. Taylor, just starting to get cold in Florida, felt great walking the dogs. Pamela, multicolored trees. Crafty Karen, cooler weather. It was 56 at 6 a.m. I love it. Hello, Karen Haynes. Karen likes this time of year Broncos football in Colorado, right? Denise, pumpkin patches. Carol in Canada, I love the changing of the leaves, wearing sweaters and boots, cooler nights, warm blankets. Mary loves the changing colors. Jackie, the smell of leaves burning. We can burn our leaves after we rake them up. Denise, pumpkin anything. Karen, the trees right now, the colors. In Australia, it's nice to have cool weather after hot summer. Yes, okay, very good, right? Kind of all the similar things, right? There is another thing, 2 more things on my list. This time of year, a restaurant that is very close to us. Hi, Val, nice to see you. Val said my fall jacket. Another thing that love this time of year, a restaurant not far from our house, the chicken noodle soup at Porcupine. Porcupine is the name of the restaurant, and they have the best chicken noodle soup, and it only comes out in the fall and the winter. And so love that about that time of year. They also in October do October. I mean, basically almost exclude. They have a whole menu that is Oktoberfest. That is so good. Oh, like schnitzel and spetzel and oh, so good, so good. All right. My last thing that I have is late season. And I can't really call it camping because it's not camping. Late season. I'll just say camping. Late season camping in Harvey. So Harvey is our RV. Harvey the RV. Late season camping, really enjoy because it's glamping. There you go, Carol. We're glamping. Late season glamping in Harvey. Oh, because it's got a queen size bed that folds out and a full bathroom and shower and kitchen and all that. So it's really not. It's glamping. It's not camping. Because guess what? If it was camping, I wouldn't be doing it. That's just, you get to a certain point in your life where you can make decisions, and that's a decision I've made a long time ago. I am not camping in a tent. Not camping in a tent anymore. I like being able to get up in the middle of the night and go to a bathroom and not worry about what's out there with their little beady eyes staring at me, ready to get me. Anyhow, but what's nice about late season camping, obviously it's much cooler and it's just cozy, and yeah, you can spend a lot of time outdoors while you're late season camping because it's not hotter than the hubs of what. Okay, so there we go. Now I have a little space here, so I could either maybe stamp a roller date stamp there. I know I need to date it. I always, always, always date, and I encourage you to date your projects. I have, I don't know, I already said, let's put the two together now. I think we should put the two together so we can kind of make an assessment. Oh yeah, that was a good paper to use, right? Look at it, it's almost like seamless right into the photo. It looks like, oh yeah, that was a good one. I'm glad I decided to go with that. I need to grab some different adhesive. When you are working in a traveler's notebook, the deeper that you get, the more bulk you end up having on the left side and the less on the right side. So when I start to get to the point where this is kind of bending a little bit, are you leaving? Okay, love you. Okay, please be safe. Be safe. Okay. All right. So you are, yes, when you are starting to kind of bend a little bit because you have the bulk of the past pages here, I like to change the adhesive that I am using along that kind of inner edge. And I am using some like score tape, some double-sided tape. And I don't need to use it everywhere. I'm just going to use it along that edge because if I use my regular tape runner, it may kind of pop, right? It may not want to hold it because gravity is going to, actually reverse gravity is going to take place. It's not going to want to stick. It's going to want to pop up. So I've added that strip of my double-sided tape or my score tape. Now I am going to not pull the whole protector off. I am only going to pull a little bit of it off. The reason I only want to pull a little bit of it off is because that tape is super strong, which is what we like about it. But the tape is super strong, which is what we hate about it when we put it down and we accidentally get it in the wrong place and it's crooked because it's not coming back up, right? It's strong for a reason. We want it to be strong. So if I only reveal a little bit of that, that gives me, look at, I could never do that with, if all of that was pulled off. So it gives me some opportunity to make sure I get that on straight. I'm happy where it is. I'm going to go down the other end. Happy where it is. That looks pretty good. And then I press down on the part that's been revealed and then gently pull that out. All right. So there we go. There we go. So I think, this is what I was thinking. Okay. I could do, there's a sticker here, word strip sticker that says, I love fall. It's fall, y'all. I already have I love fall and I have what I love about fall. So I think we get it. I don't think I need to put I love fall again there. And we know it's fall. So I think what we'll do is just do our little, oh, where is he? Where's that? Oh, here it is. Okay. Little word, roller date stamp. So this would be, today would be October So roll that to October 17th. Now I am dating it for the date I'm writing the list. I could date it for the date I took the photo. I don't know. They're both October, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not too concerned about that. Now, what I need to decide is if I want to use Rusty Hinge for the date. I don't know. We'll know very quickly if we like it or not, because this is a super fine font. And sometimes, oh yeah, it's fine. Sometimes with a Distress Oxide, it's a little bit too juicy, but that's totally okay, right? October 17th. You always even want to test that to make sure you like the color, that all the little roller parts are straight, right? And that also you have the right date. We want to have the right date. All right, so here we go. All right, so, oopsie, I rolled that a little bit. And this is going to go right down here. No, we're just going to do it. Hopefully I won't regret this part. There we go. October 17, 2024. So there is my first list. What I love about fall in Utah. And again, you don't live in Utah. I don't know. You may. Val lives in Utah, so she could do this list. But you can always modify. You can always modify what we do. What I love about fall, wherever you are, or if you live in the Southern Hemisphere, like a number of the ladies that are here from New Zealand and Australia, what you love about autumn. But if you're doing autumn, that's really 6 months from now because it's Southern Hemisphere. So they may do what I love about spring in Melbourne. You may hate fall. You may live in an area where you don't get fall. You don't experience fall. So you can say what I love about spring in California, or you could say what I miss about fall. Maybe you don't live somewhere now that where you have fall. So California, you could say what I miss about fall in California. No changing leaves, whatever. So all of that to say there's a number of different ways that you can twist a list topic if it doesn't necessarily work for you. Okay, so there's our first list. Fall in Utah. Let's see what time it is. Oh goodness. Yeah, we've been at that one a long time, but that's okay. We're just having fun. Our next list is, I don't want to do that one next. I'm gonna switch it. Our next list on my list was in the news. We did not do in the news for August or September. So in the news, eventually, we'll probably do it on the 26th when we list again. Will be for both August and September. We'll do a dual one, but I'm going to save that because I'm going to do this one. Let me get these things put away for cider and donuts because we are done using cider and donuts for today. I will use cider and donuts maybe one more time. This fall season. So we'll just get these little things put away off to the side, and then we will be ready for our next list. So our next list is, well, let me preface it first. I get my list ideas, our list topics from all different sources. I come up with them. Some of you send me list ideas, which I always love and welcome. Sometimes I find them other places. Every once in a while, I'll see something on Facebook. And this was something, this list topic I saw on Facebook. And the little post said, I think it said, movie quotes that give it away. Basically, quotes from movies that you, just by hearing the quote, you know what the movie is, right? Just by hearing the quote. Like, here's an easy one. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Okay, and I can say that, bad word. Well, don't kid yourself. I swear all the time, just not when we're together. So, that is a quote, so I can say that. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. That is a very well-known movie quote, right? What is that quote from? What is that movie quote from? Like, you hear that and you know instantly what movie that is, right? You know instantly what movie that is. So this list is about movie quotes that give it away. Quotes that give the movie away. And no one is commenting. Come on, friends in the chat. We know what that movie is. Denise said, going to Big Bear at Apples with Lizzie Lou. This weekend, the low is going to be 21 on Friday night. That's not fall weather. I know that's winter weather. There we go. Gone with the Wind. Yes, Gone with the Wind. Denise, Houston, we have a problem, right? So now people are saying, you can't handle the truth. Elizabeth. Can you hear me now? It's coming. It'll come in a second. I know, it'll come in a second. I'm back. I'm back. You should see me. You can hear me. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah. So, yeah, guess what? We'll have to tell Colleen we certainly miss her because Colleen is usually the one who is reminding me to, she's usually the one who's reminding me to plug in. And guess what? Normally what I do so I don't forget is I put the cord right here so that when I flip the camera, I can't miss it because the cord is right here in the way. Yeah, so, yep, darn it. I get so excited. I just forget those little details that all of a sudden turn into huge details because we lost power. My phone just lost power. Now the good thing is that I plugged back in and brought YouTube up and it said, hey, stream interrupted, do you want to resume? And then it let us resume. So we're good. We are good. I think we're here, right? You can hear me. Karen said she's on mute now, but I think you guys can hear me, right? Just let me know. Make sure you can hear me, right? You can hear me still. And there's a little bit of a delay in the chat. You hear me? Okay, thank you, Diana. All right. Sorry about that, friends. Woo! I don't even know. Sometimes it takes me a while. Yeah. Yes, it's your fault. You guys, it's your fault that you didn't remind me to plug in. Yeah, no. Not my first rodeo. I should have known. But I just get too excited and I forgot. Okay, anyhow, movie quotes. So these are like things that give a movie away. So my title is going to be called Guess the Movie. Guess the movie, right? So I'm going to do something a little bit different here. Most of my list is going to be done just with paper. Just with paper. And we'll see how that turns out because sometimes that's my idea and then it doesn't go far. But most of what I'm going to do is just going to be from paper. So just from the paper pad. And I am using, where'd my paper pad go? Here it is. I am using True Colors. All right. I am using True Colors. Diana, I know I said a bad word. We thought that maybe YouTube kicked me out for saying the DAM word, right? Well, DAMN. I don't even know if I can spell it without getting kicked out. No, it was me. All right, so I'm using the True Colors paper pad. We used True Colors a number of times when it came out, and I haven't used True Colors in a while, and I thought it would be fun for this one. So, 2-page list. So what I'm going to end up doing is over here, I'm going to write the movie quotes, and then I'm going to hide which movies they're from. Okay? So I pulled out these 4 papers, and I will use 3 of the 4. I just don't quite know which 2 yet, or which... I'm going to use 3 of the 4. I don't know which 2 I'm going to use. Well, I'm going to use 3 of the 4. What I meant by I don't know which 2 I'm going to use, I meant one of these 2 I will use. So this is going to be on this side. And, well, let's get this side done, and then we'll come up with this side. All right? Then we'll come up with this side. So we already know, because this happens when we are using a 6x8 paper for our base. And when our insert is 5 by 8.25, we need to trim this down. Terry said, oh, please, if YouTube kicks you out for that, half the videos posted would never be seen. I know, right? I know. We know, I'm good. I just would never. You just have to know I would never. I think one time I accidentally said a bad word. I think accidentally I said DAMN. And you know what? I am, in my real life, I swear often, and it's not something I'm proud of. But here in this kind of environment or teaching, I never, ever, ever swear because you just don't do that. It's not professional. So anyhow, but I could say that because it's a movie quote, right? All right. So this is going to be 4 3/4. Now, I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm there. 4 3/4. That's kind of in my center. I love this paper. I love that with the kind of center with the, yeah, I love it. All right. That's going to be the center. And that will be over here. So we need to round the upper left, or excuse me, upper and lower right corners. All right, then these are 3x4 cards that are from the pad, right? From the pad. Yes, you did. It was hilarious because you didn't think we could all hear you. Oh, right. I know. I think something happened. Yeah. The camera is always listening. So I worked for AT&T for years. and had to go through all kinds of media training because sometimes you never know. So in my position, I was in marketing, and so I went through a whole bunch of media training. And one of the things I learned, because they had, as part of our training, they had newscasters come in, like real live newscasters, local, from the local stations, and go through role plays with us and pretend like they were interviewing us. So, you think you've been in a course all day, you know what to say and not to say and all of that. So you're doing a role play. And here's the newscaster, they've got a cameraman there. And so they're interviewing you. And then they're like, okay, cut, we're done interviewing. John, turn off the camera. And then they're like, so really, this was way back in the day when, believe it or not, I don't know. They thought that cell phones caused like brain cancer. So it was very controversial back then. And so the newscaster, the camera's off, right? She told John, the cameraman, to turn the camera off. So Lael, tell me really, like, what's the deal there? Is it true? Is it true that cell phones can cause brain cancer? You work for AT&T. Now, they've done a lot of research. So what do you think? Is it true? No, just between you and me here. Is it true? And so you're kind of like, oh, what you learn is that they haven't turned off the camera. They have not turned off the camera. That is their way to get you to really open up when you think the camera's off. So anyhow, always assume the camera's on. Don't swear. And don't, give your opinion on whether you think cell phones cause brain cancer. All right. That's what happens here, friends. That's a squirrel moment. All right. I need my trimmer. So I pulled this page out, this paper, the 6x8 paper, because I wanted to use both of these cards. This was great because look at that, looks like a movie reel, right? When you go to the theater and see a movie and that kind of rolls. That would be a fun one to use. So we're going to use that one. And then we are going to use this guy. But we're not going to leave this guy in card form, okay? Because how would I use those two together? I can't really do anything there because they're the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut this. But when I fussy cut, my first rule of thumb is to come in and get away as much excess as I can, because then I'm working with a much smaller piece. So that's what I'm doing here. That is not my fussy cutting. I'm just getting rid of the excess. So now I'm going to grab my fussy cutting scissors. These are spring-loaded. Okay, they're spring-loaded, so makes it much easier to cut with a smaller pair of scissors than even these. Those are my smallest pair of scissors I have before my fussy cutting scissors. So my fussy cutting scissors, I hold in the palm of my hand like this, and then it's just my little thumb and my little finger that are doing the cutting motion. I'm barely moving my fingers to move that blade. All right, so I am going to, Becky said Lael I, so I'm not sure what you're asking, Becky. Type the rest. Okay, so now I am going to come into here and I am going to get close-ish to the edge, all right? Close-ish to the edge. I'm not going all the way to the edge because I want to have just a little bit of that. I find it's much easier to leave a little bit of the edge showing. And when I mean edge, I mean like that teal color here. Than to try to get no showing, just having that gray, the kind of outline of the TV. Because if I try to just have the outline of the TV, I don't know about you, but for me, that there's going to be no outline of the TV when I'm done because it's going to be so uneven. I'm going to keep going at it. All right, now we got to get the little rabbit ears here. And we'll keep going. Let's see. Diana. Hi, Diana. Diana said, Diana, I just discovered you from V. Putin's Vicky's live last week. This is so much fun. Yes. I don't know, Nick was out of town, my husband, last Friday. And, we both travel a lot. So he was out of town. And so I was working because when he travels, I'm like, oh, that's great. I can work until midnight. And so I'm working, and then I've got, Vicky on in the background, because probably for like a lot of you with me, sometimes you just like to have company, right? And I'm like, I just want to have my Vicky friend company. And so, I was just like you guys on her live, just listening and, commenting in the chat and everything. And, Vicky's like, Lael. And then she told, Lael, the ladies about what I do. And so A couple of people have come over from that. I love that. So welcome, Diana. Yeah, Diana. So this is what we do. We're having fun. We're playing with paper and other things, but we're making creative lists. We're kind of telling our story, but in a really different way. Let's see. Linda May, you have Lael fussy cutting scissors now. I do, Linda May. Those I've had, I don't know, maybe, well, probably since the beginning of this year. So probably for 8 or 9 months. Yeah. You're okay, Becky. Becky's using the large icon travel stamps and dies. They're amazing. I love that, Becky. You know what I would love to see, Becky? I would love you to post that in the Lael Mail Facebook group, whatever you're doing, so we can see, because I would love to see. I'm sure other people would too. Okay, so this is my thought. Here's that awesome little movie, right? Because I don't have like a movie camera. It doesn't have to be super literal, but that implies movie. And then I thought maybe I could somehow here put my little TV, okay? So my little TV could either hang off the edge or it could go in the center, or I don't know, I need to figure that out. It's probably gonna go in the center. Remember when I told you though, when I make my list of the movie quotes, that somewhere I want to hide what the movies are? Well, the way I'm gonna do that is I'm going to turn this flat card into a dog door. And some of you have heard me use that terminology, especially if you have done really any of my mini book classes with me. A dog door, if you think about it, a dog door is a door that really hinges on the top and then it opens from the bottom, right? The little dog goes running under and the door flips up, right? So this is going to be a dog door that hinges at the top and opens from the bottom. So there are a couple of ways that you can do that. You could do that with washi. So I'd put washi on both of these pieces and then open it up and put washi on both of those pieces. I could create a hinge very similar to what we did at the very beginning with the photo, right? We created that little hinge. So I could create a hinge like that. So that hinge would be hidden and then it would come up like that. Or I could keep things really simple and just score it and put adhesive on it and then it's gonna work that way. So that's what I'm gonna do. There's really 3 different ways. Hang on, let me grab my little scoreboard, my little mini one. Oh yeah, there's really 3 different ways, those 3 ways I talked about, that you can add something in, right? That you want to be interactive especially. So this guy is a 3x4 card. I am going to score it 1/2 inch from the top. And I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to put my adhesive there and then it will lay down flat. Now some of you do that and you create a hinge by doing this. And you put your adhesive right there. I don't want to do that in this case because then look what happens. You can only see part of the one. So my little trick is going to be just to put it there and then put it down flat and it'll open that way. When I do that, I want to use my score tape. All right, I want to use my double-sided tape because there's going to be some movement there, like it's going to lift up and down, up and down, up and down. So I want to give it a little bit more security, I don't know, a little bit more strength, a little bit more stickiness. So I will do that. Remember our little trick again, we're only revealing part of it so that I can come in here and decide where I want it. Look I can move that all around because there's only part of the stickies revealed. I think I need to go in the upper third. I need upper third. I kind of think about that like you would if you were hanging a picture on the wall. You wouldn't put the photo or the painting in the center of the wall. You'd put it kind of in the upper third. So that's where I gravitate. All right, so here we go. There's my little door. And this is where I can do my hidden movie list. So I'll make my list over on the left of all the quotes, and then I will put the names of the movies they're from in order here. Now, what I may need to do, because I don't want anything to hang below this. So I may not have enough room to write on here, and I'll put white cardstock here and then white cardstock here to like hide. What I may have to do, I could kind of do another one that kind of rolled out from there. So let's just pretend. All right, let me take like this little guy and pretend, so you know what I mean. Let me grab my trimmer again. And actually, this might be a fun one to use. I don't know if I do memories captured, I might cover that up, but that's kind of like a little, it's kind of like a little VCR tape, right? I think that's what that is, like a little VCR tape. So this guy, I would also do 1/2 inch from the top to make another little hinge. And I could do, let's see, I need to think about how I would do this. This actually would need to be shorter. So, because I don't want it to like stick out from the bottom. So let me just trim this down a bit. And then I'll show you kind of what I mean there. So I've trimmed that to, let's do about 3 1/4. 3 1/4. So now what that will do is if this guy comes, got to think about this. See, this is where I'm spatially challenged, remember? If this guy comes right here, oh yeah, this guy comes here, then it would open like that, and then it would open out again, right? Like I could go really long. I could keep doing those and doing those and doing those. So let me add this here. And then this guy, wait, no. Oh, wait. See, I told you, spatially challenged. Now, you guys, I can't even tell you how hard that is for my brain. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Like seriously spatially challenged. Whereas my husband, Nick, he can look at a set of house plans and know what the house is going to look like when it's built, right? All right, so this guy is now going to go right here. All of this is hidden, right? When you think about it. So there's that. Now I have room to do part of my list there, part of my list there, and also part of it right there. So that just folds up like that. And then that folds up like that. And you don't even know any of that's there. So, because my list is, this is quotes that give it, what did I call this? Oh, guess the movie, right? Guess the movie. So if I do my favorite movie quotes over here, and then you'll have the answers to the movie over here. It's kind of like the crossword puzzles, and you go to the back of the book and it gives you the answers. You got to do a little work to find out the answer. Angie said, I need those scissors. They're pretty awesome, Angie. They are pretty awesome. So here's our little TV. In the center, is it going to hang off the edge? Is it going to hang off the bottom? Is it going to hang off the top? Well, it can't hang off the top, right? No, I think it just, I don't know. I think for me, it just needs to go in the middle. Okay, you guys tell me, is it weird if it goes in the middle? Does it kind of lose that whole 1, 2, 3 effect? Do we need to, well, we're going to lose it either way, right? We're going to lose it either way. So, I don't know. Maybe it needs to hang off the bottom. I think it needs to hang off the bottom. Or else it's going to move. That's the part of what makes it so great about a movie, right? So if this hangs off the bottom, I need, on the bottom like a pole. I agree, Denise. I agree. So those of you that have been paper crafting for a long time or scrapbooking for a long time, basically that's where I came from. I mean, I've been doing this for 27 years. So much of what we do when we're making our creative lists comes from all the stuff that we learned over the years in any of our paper crafting. Now, maybe you're a card maker. Maybe you're a card maker. There's all kinds of things like this that you also have probably picked up in your card making over the years. So just because we're doing something new, maybe this is new for you. Maybe you did find me from Vicky and you've never done anything like this, but you sure as heck know how to do all the mixed media and all those fun things. So you can take what you have learned in any of your crafting over the years and put it into any kind of new craft that you're doing. And we could just call this a new craft, even though we're still paper crafting. I mean, really, this last list that we did, you guys, that's a scrapbook page. Let's be honest. That's a scrapbook page, right? So it's just a different name for what we may have been doing for a long time. And that whole thing that we just did, this whole page, you guys, 2 pieces of paper, right? That's all that was, is 2 pieces of paper. So you see me use all kinds of fancy things. I'm using stamps and rub-ons and all the things. That's 2 pieces of paper, right? So you don't have to have all the things to make your fun lists. I always say you need 2 things. Something to write with, something to write on. Everything else is just gravy. Everything else is just gravy beyond that. So don't get caught up in, especially if you are maybe new to listing and you're like, oh, I want to do this. And then you're like, oh, darn, I need all the things. Well, I don't know if that's my personality. I tend to go overboard on everything I do. So I start something new. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need all the things. But you don't. You just need something to write with, something to write on. And then one of the best things I think about what we do is when you are working in a really smaller space, especially if you've been crafting for a long time and you've been a professional collector of fine paper goods, right? A lot of us are like that. We like to buy and then we don't always use. So you might have paper crafting product, scrapbooking product that has been around for a really long time and you've had it in your stash and you're like, well, I can't use that. That's old. There's something about working in a smaller space like this that kind of is very freeing. Go pull out all your old stuff, right? You don't have to buy anything new. And that may sound kind of bizarre that I'm telling you that because my business is that's my business is that you buy stuff from me. But really, and because I don't want something like that to stop you from having fun. So pull out whatever you have and just play, right? Pull out whatever you have and just play. All right. So let's see. Crafty Karen said, I now scrapbook in Lael's Traveler's Notebook inserts. I don't do 12 by 12 anymore. I love the smaller size. Denise said scrapbooking on a smaller scale. That's what it is, scrapbooking on a smaller scale. Terry said those scissors are a must-have, honestly. Order 2 if you do any other craft. I make felt flowers, and I love these little scissors for that too. Karen said, I love what you're doing, Lael. I think a center flip-up with lists underneath would be a cool idea with the bold background like that because the yellow just tames it down while making it pretty. Exactly, right? Tames it down while making it pretty. And then it's kind of fun and interactive, and then it's also hiding. We're saying guess the movie. Okay, so before when I said I have 4 papers and I'm going to use 3 and then I need to pick which 2, this is what I meant. From here on this side, I need to pick, that's a no-brainer to me. That is a no-brainer. Once I put those down, which are the 2 papers, right? They both have stars on them, which is kind of fun because it kind of continues to pull in our movie theme. There is nothing about the True Collection, True Colors collection that has anything to do with movies, right? We're just kind of pulling that out. But the stars kind of emphasize the theme. But to me, it has to be pink, right? There's just not enough of that color anywhere in here. So it's the pink. That's what I'm going to do. So we need our little trimmer out again. This is going to be 4 3/4. So 6 by 8 paper pad. I have pulled the papers from 6 by 8 paper pad. And because I am using this at a base, I always go to 4 3/4 for my base. We need to round the outer corners, the outer left corners. And I suppose now might be a good time to talk about the next giveaway. So the next giveaway, friends, is an after party giveaway, meaning you do not have to be live to participate. The first prize that we did from our anonymous donor was you had to be here to participate. But the next one is an after party, meaning when the video is over, you want to just make a mental note to come back and leave a comment on the video because that's how you participate in the prize. You leave a comment on the video when it's over, and then I draw a random lucky winner. I do the same thing. I scroll. And wherever my finger stopped, that's the person that wins. So this is the prize. Okay. Do you see all of that? That is the True Colors collection. I think everything is in there. I want to say with the exception of the paper pad. I will tell you where this came from. So some of you know that I taught at the Simple Stories retreat last month. And as part of that, the project that I designed was a mini book using True Colors. So Simple Stories, once you pick the collection that you want to use, they send you 3 of everything. One for you to design with for your sample. You need to have another sample in class. So 2. And then you have a whole other set of everything in case you mess up or need to fix something or you decide to do something differently and you need to, fix whatever. So that's what this is, you guys. That's what this is. This is everything I didn't use. So I think there might be 1 or 2 pieces of paper out of the 12 by 12 collection kit and then the paper pad. That's the entire collection. So this really isn't from me. I'm just passing this on from Simple Stories because they gave it to me if I needed to use it. So that is the way you participate in that giveaway. Leave a comment on the video when it's over. Not in the chat. comment on the video when it's over. You have between when it's over tonight and Saturday morning the 26th, which is when I will draw that second prize. Okay, we're ready to go ahead and, oh, okay, so I just had a thought. Now, this would be kind of fun, and I could still do this, but I'll wait and do this another day. When we were looking, when I was kind of showing you that the gratitude project, one of the things that I showed you that we're doing in that class is we are creating a little window with a piece of acetate. Okay, so basically I've cut a hole in that page and then kind of created a little window, right? So what we could do in something like this, and I won't do it tonight because it'll take a little bit more time, but this is something that we could do in the future if we do something like this again. Well, I have this little guy is hiding whatever is here. So what I could do if I wanted, I could cut a little hole or window here, and then when we lift that up, you're really seeing what's under here, which is here. So that'd be kind of another fun thing to do. I won't do that now, but because, you know, we're just going to do what we're doing. But that could be fun. That could be fun too. And then that's when I'm kind of, when I start to do lots of little interactive things like this really is like going back to my, scrapbook roots. Although, you know, I'm still scrapbooking. It's just, I kind of call it something different. I learned that years ago, that depending on the audience that you're talking to, sometimes, Denise, that's what I'm doing. The page is a flap, and I'm writing the answers to the movie quotes under there. That's what I'm doing. That's a brilliant idea, Denise. Okay, I hope you didn't take that the wrong way, Denise. That I'm not being a smart donkey. You know, the other word for donkey. I'm not trying to be a smart, you know. But yes, that's what we're doing. Okay, so this guy is going to come over here, but not quite yet. We're going to work on it off the page. And we'll kind of bring it in again if we need over here. I will end up doing something here because this looks really plain there. So I don't know what that's going to be yet. What's on the opposite side of the yellow 1, 2, 3 piece? It is this. It's that pink star. And that is what's going over here, the pink star. It's the second sheet of that. So that's what's going there. All right, but I meant the bigger page. Oh, over here? This one? Make that a page flap and write the answers. The black with the writing. I'm totally confused. The black with the writing. Mimi, so, I don't know, the black with the writing. I'm confused. And now, this one. This right there? Oh, okay. This was it says moments captured. I'm going to end up covering that up. It kind of looks like a little cassette tape. Yes, got it. Thank you. It says moments captured, but I wanted it for that, so it could kind of flip up. Okay, and now Denise, I'm still confused. The one on the right, oh, this guy, but I meant the bigger page. Okay, make the page a flap. Oh, you meant make this whole thing a flap that could flip up. That's what you meant, right? We could totally do that. I get it. Okay. Sometimes I'm very blonde. So what Denise is saying is, just like we made this little flap right here, I could have done, if I had not already adhered this page, I could have scored this piece. So it kind of be like this. Let's just pretend it'd be like this. It could totally lift up as well, right? And then that's where my answers could be. So instead of doing it on this little guy, I do it on that whole page would lift up and then right there. Got it, Denise. Yes, that could be fun too. It totally could. If I hadn't done that already, I could. But yes, that could be a lot of fun too. So there's lots of things that you can do. And now that we've kind of talked about that thing, you could do it over here. You could put your hinge here and have that open, or this open, or that open, or lots of different ways to do that. Yes, the reveal and more answers. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so now we are ready to do our little list over here. And this time I'm going to use that graph paper. That's another one of my little paper packs. There's a lined one that we did on the last list, and then a little graph one here. So that'll just go there. And I think, so let's think about, my title is Guess the Movie. So maybe if we did guess, If we did guess, so let's think about what we want to do for guess. I could stamp guess. My plan was to stamp guess using these guys, Reggie Alpha. So I could do guess, and then underneath I could write the movie. I think that's what we'll do. It'll take a little bit more time, but I don't know. I feel like you have way more flexibility. Way more flexibility when you use stamps versus alpha stickers. It just takes more time, right? All right, so this is going to be, usually it goes to 7. Usually it is 7, maybe, hold on, let's just double check. Usually I eyeball it, and then when I measure it ends up being, I think, like 3 3/4 by 7. My little guy here. So let's just do this. Let's look. I don't need as much of a pattern here around the outside just because I just don't. Smaller pattern so you can see more of it. All right, so that is, oh, about 4. A little shy of 4. And that is, do that. That one is about 7 1/4. All right. So now we are going to do this guy here. Now, if I'm stamping, we need to think before we get too far, what is our title going to be in guess? I don't know. I'm going to go maybe a different direction than stamping. So let's look at, these. Hello, Angie Page Turner. I'd really like a yellow. Is there a yellow? We are looking at the Letter Scramble alpha stickers. I swear there's a yellow. There's like 16 colors. Yes. Ah, look at that. That yellow goes pretty well. So what if we change directions instead of stamping? If we use those letters. So if we do that, I think I would probably use, so when I look at what's going on over here, in these sheets you have, I don't know, 300 and some odd, I think 300 and some odd, 300 and some odd alpha stickers here. And you have 4 different fonts. So you have lowercase serif, again, those are the little like hats and feet. You have lowercase sans serif, so no little hats and feet. You have little teeny guys, and then you have uppercase sans serif. So I think I might go with this one because it's probably closest to that font. So we are going to spell guess. So let me show you something really quickly, friends. And I have all of these out, so I should know exactly where these are when I look for this. These are getting sent off next week for to be photographed for the next idea book. Talk about the viewfinder reel. So there is that viewfinder reel that we used on a list. My gosh, that was back in December. It was back in December or early January. I did not date that one. Let's look at reference point around it. Well, I know it was in early January. Anyhow, so on that Viewmaster reel, look at that was one die cut. I cut it in half and used half and half there. So that is using True Colors. And then I think we use True Colors again. And you know what? Because I had to look because I was like, ooh, did we already do something very similar to this? So I looked before I kind of came up with the plan for this today. Oh yeah, this was Growing Up Gen X, but that was also using True Colors. Kind of our little TV there, but different. So that, yeah, that viewfinder reel, I love. That is a really fun part of this collection. That is for sure. One of the 6x8 papers is a giant viewfinder reel in the pad. So let's find it. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I know the yellow. You guys, I know. You know me and the yellow. Look at that one. Anyhow, okay. So you guys know I love my yellow. All right, so guess. I am going to use my ruler to do this for two reasons. Number one, I can use one of the horizontal lines on the ruler to line up my stickers to make sure that they are in, so they're even, right? I was going to say in order, but so they're even. So, okay. So G, U. Normally when I am pulling letter stickers to use, I do something, and I don't have to do that here because I haven't used anything. Well, I've used some on the sticker sheet, but not from that alpha. Sometimes you will see this. Oh, that's not a good one to use. That's a light one. Let me find if there's a place that I've done this in here. No, I'll show you on the white one. So before I start spelling a word, I will come in and I will make a little mark by the letters I need. Because what you don't want to have happen, you don't want to get to the point where you're spelling a letter or word and you get far in and go, oh shoot, I don't have enough letters. If that does happened on Saturday with one of our lists. I took a white R and colored it black and then was able to use that. But so normally, before I start, I would check to make sure I have enough letters to spell my word, but I know we're okay here, right? Because I haven't used those. Guess. And again, I am using my little reverse grip tweezers to place those letters because it's just way easier than trying to get my fingers on those letters and get them placed. Like if I'm trying to, it's just easier. I use my reverse grip tweezers for everything. All right. So the letters, the alpha stickers, tweezers, ruler, everything you'll find on the website. All right, so here we go. So my first reason for using that ruler was so I could get them lined up. The second reason for, let go. The second reason for using the ruler is this. I need to figure out where those should be placed. And I'd like them to be centered because that's me. I like things to be centered. So there's no guesswork if I use my ruler to center them, right? If I had guesswork, that's funny. If I had to figure out ahead of time where to place the E, I'd have to be doing math and get out my protractor and get out my scientific calculator and, figure out what the square root of 28 is and all of that, right? It's much easier if I just put them on a ruler and I go, oh, yep, look, that looks about good. That looks pretty good. Yep, there we go. They're going to go there. Once I know where I want them to go, all I do is press down on the tops and roll that ruler right out from underneath. Okay, so there we go. Karen said, I keep creating Saturday and ended up with 6 2-page spreads. That's amazing, Karen. I love that. That's pretty remarkable. That's pretty remarkable. Okay, so now guess the movie. So I'm just going to say guess the movie. My bracelet wants to be in the way there. Guess the movie. And then I'll just do kind of ... And we've got to do our outlining because that's what I do. And then let's see if we think we also need to ink the edges. It might be okay. I think I'm okay without it. I don't think I need to ink the edges. Now let's see. So before we get too far, do we want to use any of the washi from that? All right, so of all of these washi that go with True Colors, and one is, I don't know, one's probably rolled off the table somewhere because there are 5. Of all of those, I would use that one. Now, what I don't know is if that is that, I think I know how I'm going to feel about that, and I think it's too matchy-matchy with what's happening over there. Usually I like a little bit more contrast, but let's just look. Let's just look because you never know. Oh, yeah, I don't like it. Nope, too much of that matchy-matchy for me, so I won't have anything there. We'll come up with something later. All right, so now let's start our list of guess the movie quotes. Guess the movie, not guess the quote, but guess the movie. And this tells, I think, a lot about your personality because if you are on your list adding movie quotes, I would never go to like Harry Potter and try to pull up a quote from the movie, because that would mean nothing to me. If you told me a quote from Harry Potter, I'd be like, I don't know that movie. I don't know it. So this is very telling about me, the movies that are the quotes that are on my list, because they're movies I like because I know the quotes. All right, so we do need a bullet stamp, and we're going to keep it. Oh, I know what we're going to do. I just had an idea. So let's get our little bullets and more stamps out. These are little teeny tiny stamps. There is one with a TV. There's one with a little movie ticket. Okay, so you know what? There's one with a TV, but I think that's probably a little much. Just like that ruler was a little much, I think using a little TV is a little much. I don't know, I think we'll just use it. Why not? Why not? So the little TV is from Bullets and More 2. There are 3 different sets of bullet stamps. There's Bullets and More, there's Bullets and More 2, and there's Bullets and More 3. So I'm pulling from Bullets and More 2, and let's get the little TV out. Now, remember, like days ago, it seemed like when we were here tonight, we were talking about right sizing your stamping blocks, okay? That if you are timid when it comes to stamping, one of the best things you can do is have different size stamping blocks, because you want to use the smallest block possible for your stamp that's going to set you up for success. So this would be the smallest stamping block I have until we move to another one of my products, the stamping stylus. So the stamping stylus is a very different stamping block for your little teeny bullet stamps, okay? Because when you have a stamp that is so teeny like that, even if you use, no, where'd it go? Here it is. Even if you use that little tiny block I had, that little tiny stamping block, it's still really too big. It's really too big for a teeny tiny little stamp like that. Now, because this is so tiny, because those stamps are tiny, they're bullet stamps, that's what we want, right? Because they're so tiny, if we tried to use even a short stamping block like that, it'd be too hard because it's just too little small for our little chubby fingers. So we put that little stamp on the end of something our hand is very accustomed to, right? Look at, this is like a marker or a pen or a pencil. Our hand knows what to do with that and knows how to operate that, right? So basically, we're doing the same thing with a stamping block. That's a stamping stylus. So what I'm going to do, there's going to be a lot of black here, is because I will write with black. So I think what we will do is to bring in some pink for our list, or for our bullets. So I bet we're going with Kitsch Flamingo. I think that's what that is going to be if I was a betting woman, and that's pretty close. Picked raspberry, well, let's see. I think actually picked raspberry is probably closer. So let's go with picked raspberry. Our poor in the news probably feels so just neglected. Well, I promise we'll do it on Saturday the 26th when we're together. Okay, picked raspberry. So just like we've tested everything else before we've stamped, I want to do the same thing again. Make sure we're looking good. There's our little TV. And look how easy that is. Do you see how easy that is for me with that little stylus? So easy. All right, so there's my little TV. That will be my bullet. I better get this out of the way. And let's move this over here. Oh, yeah, I better do a little separator line. I think a little separator line is in order here. Just to kind of visually separate. I do that usually if I am writing part of my title, then it's a good idea to add a little visual separator before I start writing, because it kind of blends in a little bit. All right, here we go. I have a series of quotes from the same movie, so I think I will put all of them together. So we're starting out with inconceivable. Oh boy, inconceivable. That'll be okay, I can fix that. Did you see how I just made a boo-boo? Let me try this. All right, I pulled out a white gel pen. And I am basically, this will take me a couple of times to do this, so I'll just start it, then I need it to dry, and then I can come over it three or four more times. But see how I started to kind of white it out? That little part where I was writing an E? Eventually, after 3 or 4 more times, you won't even see that. Elise, the Princess Bride, inconceivable. Yes, that is one. Now I've given it away because now you know. I've told you these are all from the same movie. The next one is have fun storming the castle. Our family loves The Princess Bride. In fact, last year, Jack and Kat, his now fiance, they dressed up as Jack was, so Jack is 6'4". He's our older son, and he probably weighs, I don't know, maybe 280. He's a big guy. He dressed up as the giant from Princess Bride, and then Kat, back then his girlfriend, now his fiance, dressed up as Inigo Montoya. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Yes, guess the movies. No, you're good, Elise. Don't worry. You just knew right away. Yes, guess the movies. Okay, have fun storming the castle. That also is from Princess Bride, because the first 3 are from Princess Bride. Have fun storming the castle. And that is something Nick, my husband, has said to all of us. He'll, like, one of us will leave for whatever, and he'll go, have fun storming the castle. So that's kind of our family thing, have fun storming the castle. If you don't know the movie Princess Bride, then have fun storming the castle probably doesn't make sense. Have fun storming the castle. And then the other one is, yes, hello. Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die. Oh, you guys, it's such a funny movie. Prepare to die. There are so many good quotes in that movie. So many good quotes. Okay. All right. So from now on, yes, you guys can guess and I won't tell the answer. I won't tell the answer. That was my fault. Okay. So next up, there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball. I can already tell this page is not going to be long enough, for sure. I will have way more I have way more quotes than will fit here. I just got to mark them off here. All right, now, yes, Diana, League of Their Own. The next one is, okay, I do not like these kind of movies. Red Rum. Red Rum. Or, I won't write this one down, but all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You know that one? Red Rum. Beach Gal, I feel the need for speed. Yes, I love it. That one, I feel the need for speed. That is Top Gun. I know that for sure. Yes, and Diana, The Shining, right? Yep. Elise, are you the sort of man who would put the poison in your own drink? Yes. Oh my gosh, and that is another Princess Bride when they're going back and forth with which should you drink? The poison one. You're Killing Me, Smalls. Yes, that one was also on my list. Although when we were talking about it earlier, I could not remember the name of the movie, which was actually filmed here in Utah. That movie, You're Killing Me, Smalls. Someone will remind me what that is. So the ones I can't remember, the name of the movie, I'll obviously pull up Google before I do the little ones over here. You're Killing Me, Smalls. Houston, We Have a Problem was also on my list over here. Show Me the Money. Yes, that's another one. So many good ones. Houston, We Have a Problem. Now, you know what's funny? I would have loved to have put several quotes from the movie Airplane on here, but I don't know. The one, Shirley, you're serious, and don't call me Shirley, right? Or Leonard Bridges in that whole movie at the beginning, because he's the guy like who's at the air traffic control center. He's like, oh, looks like the bad time that I stopped drinking caffeine, and then he's guzzling coffee, and then he's like, oh, looks like it's the bad time to start quitting smoking, and then he's smoking, and then he progressively gets on to worse and worse vices. But yes, surely you can't be serious. I know, right? Oh, Cindy, you had me at hello. That's another one. So Debbie, that's not a knife. I don't know what that one is. And say hello to my little friend. Elizabeth, I don't know what that one is either. Secrets in the Sauce. Okay, don't know what that one is either. Sandlot. There we go, Janine. Thank you. The Sandlot. Yes. All right. We're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore. So, one of the things that we talked about during the pandemic, because we did a lot of this during oh yeah, there we go. Fried green tomatoes, Ms. L. The Secrets in the Sauce. Oh yes, I love it. Who put baby in the corner? Gerda, not Gerda. I think nobody puts baby in the corner. That is also on my list. Debbie said Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. Beach gal. Guess what? Tell me about it, stud. Look at. Tell me about it, stud, on my list. Okay, so I'm gonna just stop for a minute and just make a quick comment here. So during the pandemic is when I started. The very beginning of the pandemic is when we started all of this, right? So we're about 4.5 years in. One of the things we talked about a lot during the pandemic was some of us were in our homes with the same people, day in and day out, right? You kind of couldn't get away from the people. And now some people were by themselves, and that, that was a entirely different situation. But when we were talking about being at home, not able to go anywhere with the same people day in and day out, we talked about how you could take some of our listing topics and use them as like when you've run out all the conversations, you can't talk about anything anymore. One of the things that we talked about was sometimes our list topics can be very fun conversation starters. So something like this, you could be at a dinner party with people, or you could be in an online chat with your friends. You could be having family over for dinner. You could be on a road trip. A topic like this would be a really fun one because it gets people engaged, right? So as we're doing this, you guys are throwing out all kinds of quotes. So this would be, we write it down, but this would be a really fun conversation to have with somebody to say, hey, so, much too good for children. I don't know that one, Linda May. You are a toy. Beach gal, you are killing me. Deborah, hold on, where is it? Oh, guess what I had? I had Reach for the Sky, so same movie, right? But so you guys, it's just kind of a conversation like this is really fun because sometimes you may not think you have something in common with someone, but when you take away all the weird social stuff and start doing things like this, and you may not have anything in common with somebody, even when it comes to a movie like this. But some of them, like we started out with, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I mean, most people know what that is, right? Okay, so I want my $2. Taylor, I don't know what that one is, Taylor. Look I'm learning all these new movies. All right, so we're not in Kansas anymore. That is Wizard of Oz. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. I don't know that one either. Elizabeth, tell us what it is, or if anyone else knows. Okay. Oh, this one. I'll have what she's having. I'll have what she's having. Let's see if anyone knows that one. A very funny actress with a very funny actor. When Harry Met Sally, yes, I have what she's having when she is at the diner with Billy Crystal and she is faking. Well, they're having a conversation about how a woman could fake being satisfied in bed, okay? And so he's like, no, you can't do that. And so in the restaurant, in the diner, she full on fakes it. And then another person at the restaurant says, I'll have what she's having. Anyhow, Ms. L, you're going to need a bigger boat. Guess what? Also on my list somewhere here. You're going to need okay. I love it. But it's fun that we kind of are, some of us are naming the same movies. Let's see. How about this one? You have to say it with this accent. I'll be back. I'll be back. Whatever that is. I'll be back. He's got a couple in that movie or in that series of movies, right? I'm the king. Oh yes, I'm the king of the world. And when you say those quotes, you have to like really pretend like you're, there, right? This is Halloween. Go ahead. Oh yeah, go ahead, make my day. Clint Eastwood, right? I don't remember the movie. I remember that's Clint Eastwood. Okay, I'll be back. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Yes, that's on my list. That's been brought up a couple of times. That is Jaws. We're going to need a bigger boat when they're out hunting Jaws. Go ahead, make my day. Oh yeah, I already said that. Luke, I'm your father. Karen, that's next on my list. Luke, I'm your father. So I think what's interesting, a lot of us, Luke, I am your father. And you feel like you have to say that one in that same voice. Luke, I am your father. And if you haven't seen that movie, well, we're giving it away. Beach gal. Yippee-ki-yay, mother, fill in the blank, right? Yeah. Oh, but I don't remember which one that one's from. I know what I was going to say. So I would say in general, the majority of us that are here are kind of in that same generation, like kind of Gen X, right? Some of you may be a little bit older, some of you may be a little bit younger, but generally I'm Gen X, so it kind of falls in that area. So I think that's why a lot of us maybe are naming some of the same movies, right? Because we kind of in that whole area, right? In that whole area. Ohana means family. Family means nobody lets... Hi, Jackie. Family means nobody gets left behind. So I know that one too, but I don't know what movie it is. Oh yeah, yippee-ki-yay. Now see, this is where I have to be really careful because I could read that and then fill in the blanks because Deborah, added appropriately the little asterisks, but sometimes I get so excited I would just blip that out and I would be so embarrassed if I blipped that out. Now again, I talk like that sometimes at home, but I mean, I don't really say that, but I just can't hear them. I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. I don't know that one. Sudden Impact, Pam, there we go. Lilo and Stitch. Oh yeah, that's cute, Jackie. That's very cute. You could do a whole movie like this of Disney movies, right? Or Star Wars movies, or like guess which episode it is, or not episode. Guess which, not season. Guess which, I don't know, whatever it is, series of the movie or whatever from The Hobbit or Harry Potter or Star Wars. I'm just trying to think of the ones that Fast and Furious, because I've never seen that, but I think there's like 83 of those. Okay. Luke, I am your father. No one puts baby in a corner. That is from Dirty Dancing. Now, one thing that I don't know if you notice this, I certainly do. I don't do this often, but I am printing. Usually I write pretty quickly. And so it's usually more like this. So this is my usual writing. This is me more printing because I need to have more room. So my writing changes based on what I'm doing sometimes. Have we done a list on TV show movie theme songs? So we have not done one on, Karen, we haven't. We have done a couple of different TV ones, but not theme songs. So this is where I go to my little magical workbook here and go to our list of lists. TV show, movie theme songs. Like, you know what popped in my head? Like Welcome Back. Excuse me, from Welcome Back, Kotter. TV theme songs. So when you suggest a list, I like to put your name down so that if and when we do that list, I can say you did it. Snakes on a Plane. Why did it have to be snakes? Nancy Stone, to anyone from Down Under, this is going straight to the pool room. Yeah, I don't know that one. I guess I'm not a Down Under, huh? All right, no one puts baby in a corner. We're gonna finish this list up and then we will call it an evening, friends. No one puts baby in a corner. Oh yeah, I had Frankly, My Dear. I've got to do that one because I said that. You could probably even say Frankly, My Dear, and people would know. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. All right. Next up, we have, oh, yes, on my list, Bueller. And again, that's one of those that you have to add the, like, intonation when you say that, because that's what they did in the movie. That's what the teacher, Ferris Bueller, when he's calling roll, Bueller. You Had Me at Hello. That was another one. You Had Me at Hello. That's Renee Zellweger. With, that was in Show Me the Money, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was Show Me the Money, because that's another one. If it's not Show Me the Money, it was in this Tom Cruise in both movies, right? You Had Me at Hello. Show Me the Money. That's another one that has to be there. Well, on my list. Show Me the Money. That's when he was the sports agent. Jerry Maguire. There we go. Jerry Maguire. What did I say? I don't know. I can't remember now. Not sad. I just said it. Oh, owie. Did you order the code red? I don't know. Just Keep Swimming. Just Keep Swimming. That's Dory. Dory, right? Dory. Just Keep Swimming. I don't know. A Few Good Men. A Few Good Men. You Can't Handle the Truth, right? You Can't Handle the Truth. Is that on my list? Show Me the Money. Okay. Hang on. Wait, what did I just say? What? There was something You Can't Handle the Truth. There we go. I need to have that. You Can't Handle the Truth. That wasn't on my list, but that's a good one. Jack Nicholson. You couldn't. Oh, well, guess what? This is what we do. I wrote you couldn't, and it's you can't. So guess what? You couldn't handle the truth. It doesn't matter. We're taking a creative liberty. I know I wrote the wrong word, but I'm not going to fret. It's just there. So it is what it is. We're not fretting. You couldn't handle the truth. It really is. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Remember when he's in court and he gets so angry, and then that's what they want him to do, and then the whole thing was over. What's Happening, Hot Stuff? That one is a definite Gen Xer. What's Happening, Hot Stuff? Anyone know that one? No Place Like Home. Yes, that's another. No Place Like Home is another Wizard of Oz, right? What's Happening, Hot Stuff? Flygirl2447 said, this list is bringing back so many good memories. This is what happens quite often, Flygirl. We do, when we do a lot of the lists, especially when they're songs from the 80s or movie quotes or things like that, commercials. We've done commercials before, like Where's the Beef and things like that. It's really fun. And for me, that is so much of what I get out when we're together. This is just fun, right? I mean, I don't know what more fun I can have. I'm crafting and we're laughing and reminiscing and just having a good time. So yes, that's one of the very things that I love the most about what we do when we do with this. And Elise knows me, pork chops and applesauce. And that's not a movie. Pork chops and applesauce. So let me go back to this. What's Happening, Hot Stuff? Janine, 16 Candles. Yes, it is. And Deborah as well. 16 Candles. Yeah. 16 Candles has a lot as well. Let's see. And Elizabeth loves 16 Candles too. So when her hair gets stuck in the door and her friends cut it out, I can't remember what she says, but anyhow, wax on, wax off. Hi, Kristen. Yes, from Karate Kid, right? How about I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy? Which one is that from, Mimi? I don't remember. Karen's done lists on favorite actors and actresses on opposite pages. So you know what? I want to say that is a list topic that's come up before, but I'm going to write it down again just in case. Favorite actresses, favorite actors and actresses. So, friends, especially if you are newer to doing what we've been doing. We've been doing this for 4.5 years. So there are, like I said, about 500 lists, I'm going to say, that we've done. There are 2 idea books. There is one from all the lists that we did in 2020 through 2022. There is another one. This is volume 2, all the lists that we did in 2023. And there will be a 2024 coming out in March of 2025. So I'll continue, as long as we continue doing this, idea books will continue to be produced and released. Wilson, and you have to say it that way, Wilson, right? With much anguish. Wilson, who knows Wilson? You talking to me? 17 times 0. You talking to me? Then I get that confused with the accent of, you talking to me? Like, I want to say Facts of Life or something like that. Castaway. Yes, Pam, Castaway. Here's Looking at You, Kid. Yes, that's a great one, right? Notting Hill. Here's Johnny. Yeah, look at, you guys are coming fast and furious now. We could do a list of quotes from our favorite TV shows. One show or lots of shows? Yes. Like, hey, right? That would be Fonzie from Happy Days. And then Schlemazel, Hassenruff Incorporated. I don't even know what they say, but remember that was Laverne and Shirley. And, this guy, Mork and Mindy. What did he always say? I'm walking here. It's funny. So many of these, I'm like, oh, what is that from? Wait, we know it. We don't need no stinking badges. Okay, Nanu. There we go. Nanu. Yes. Okay. Wilson, I'm just almost done, friends. Reach for the Sky. That's the ode to Toy Story. There are quite a few from Toy Story I could have on my list. In fact, for Halloween, that Halloween retreat I taught at, I dressed up as Jessie. Well, I didn't dress up as Jessie. I bought a costume on Amazon, but there I am as little Jessie from Toy Story. Okay, this one I have to get it. Does Barry Manilow know you raid his wardrobe? That is another Gen Xer. Does Barry Manilow know you raid his wardrobe? Question mark, exclamation point. Fly Girl, yes, it is from Breakfast Club, and Beach Gal too, Breakfast Club. Yes. And now Deborah said I could make a list from Friends alone, like pivot, when they are trying to get the couch up the stairs, right? Okay, so let me do this. Let me do this. I actually got most of them. I also had Tell Me About It, Stud. You know that one, Tell Me About It, Stud. And then I had, you know what? Oh, Hello, Clarice. And then I had Let It Go. And I also had Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. So, I mean, I got most of them on my list. So that's good. I'm happy with that. All right. So last thing I am going to do before we add this little guy in, I'm going to come over here and I need something down here. So usually those of you that know me, when it looks like something's missing, now I could add a date there, but guess what? I've got all kinds of other room here. I'll find a date somewhere. I'd like to use that for something else. And that would be the proverbial word strip sticker. Say hello to my little friend. That's with a gun, isn't it? Is that 17 times 0? Say hello to my little friend. There's an accent with that. What is it? Okay, 1790. What is it? Say no. Is it Scarface? Oh, it is with Al Pacino, right? And it's with a gun, right? Isn't that funny? The things that we remember. Where we're going, we don't need any roads. Hi, Lindsay Stout again. Where we're going, where we're going. Oh, Back to the Future. Yes, that's the gun one. That was a fun one. That is a fun one. Okay, I mean, I shouldn't say that because Scarface is an incredibly violent movie, like so violent, right? So violent. But yeah, say hello to my little friend. All right, word strip sticker. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I think we probably just need a regular one. Maybe just a regular one. You know what's really funny? This one, I can tell you exactly where I was when I bought this based on the little price tag. See, that says $81. It is not $81. R stands for Rand. That's when I was in South Africa. And I decided I wanted to make a travel journal while I was there. And yeah, it was 81 Rand back then in South Africa. Yo, Adrian. Right? Yo, Adrian. So Deborah, another family favorite of ours, not mine, Nick and the boys, is Godfather. Like, Nick loves The Godfather. And so I'm like, oh gosh, that's kind of part of our family. So I Googled Godfather quotes and none of them meant anything to me. So I didn't put Godfather, but I'm right there with you, right? Okay, so, small talk. Yeah, so let's just look at one of these. Let's see what might work. Let's see. This is what family, I don't know. These might not work. I just need a little one, just a little one. Make today count, be awesome today, be you bravely, be fearless. There's probably, it's all the perspective. So, you know what? Actually, it's all the perspective. I think that actually can work very well. Because really, this is kind of all perspective. I mean, it doesn't, whatever we put on here, we can decide whatever we want to put on here. It doesn't have to make sense, but kind of it's all perspective. I think that works. It's all perspective. So let's see. It's all perspective. So when I do this, there's two options. In the little word strip sticker books, there is a white with black writing, and they're the exact same words that are black with white writing. I feel like maybe we need a little, bit more contrast. So let's see what we think here, if that works. It's all perspective. Oh yeah, you see that? You see how that one the white one just kind of got lost a little bit? So there we go. I will need to figure out something over here, right? Because this is just kind of a big, vast expanse of nothingness. So I need to put something there. I don't know what it will be. I'll have to kind of think on that one. Sometimes you just need to walk away and let things percolate. I need to probably look at the stickers and things in the collection and see if there's something that would make sense there that to me that didn't look like it was forced. I don't know, good stuff could work there, right? So much fun could work there. I don't know, maybe it's not going to take a whole lot of work. Let's see if so much fun works there. So now the issue is, to me, that is weird because it's just like I just put it there, right? That's a little bit better, but right in the middle, it didn't make sense. So maybe it just goes right here. Maybe we just put it here and call it good. So it's not as, but actually I kind of like it better there, but then I still have my problem there. Oh, all right. So now I'm just thinking out loud. If it goes here, I don't know. I'd really like it to really hang off, which means I'd have to take the sticky off the back, which isn't a problem, but that's pretty flimsy to just be by itself sticking off the edge. So let's just put so much fun here. And then I probably need to add maybe something a little bit more in there, but we're getting closer, right? We're closer to, we need something kind of up in here, but it also, really shouldn't be forced, but usually about this time it's going to look forced. So that's when I say, well, we'll just have to come back to it maybe at some other point. Usually I can walk away and then tomorrow I'll be here cleaning up. Oh, well, look at this. What about admit one? Could admit one work in here somewhere? No, I don't know. I need to walk away. I need to walk away because I could just sit here now for an hour trying to figure out something. So usually what happens, I will walk away. Oh yes, Rain Man. Rain Man, yes. Cruise and Hop, Rain Man. Yeah. So now what was a quote from Rain Man, right? What is a quote from Rain Man? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hear this. Probably what will end up happening, friends, is that in between now and when we're listing together again on the 26th, that is a Saturday, 26th of November, 2024. No, sorry, 26th of October, sorry. I will figure out what needs to go there, and then I will also come back in and write down all the movies in the same order. And then that's, guess the movie. And then, now, if you felt like, if you were doing a list like this and you felt like you really didn't explain that these were some of your favorite movies and and then you know them by heart because you know all the quotes and you have all of this area. So if I felt like I could write a little bit of, take white cardstock, write a little bit of journaling here, and these are some of my favorite movies, and you hear the quote and instantly you know what it is. So you have room there, and it's hidden, right? You have room there to do something like that, and then between that space and then this space here, as long as it doesn't go below, then that's where I'm going to put white cardstock and then write the names of those movies. Kmart sucks. Mimi, yes, from Rain Man. Now it's funny because I'm reading your things. Karen's like, my girl Kitty jumps on the side table, looks at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's not a movie quote. Karen's like really telling what's happening. That's funny. I smell children. Oh, I smell children. I smell children. Is that from Wizard of Oz? Oh, look at Elise likes Rain Man. I'm an excellent driver. Underwear on the highway, dancing with Iris, getting to know each other, recounting cards. Hocus pocus. Oh, yeah. I smell children. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, friends. So, well, that was an incredibly fun evening. I think I had lots of fun. I am going to turn off I'm turning on the overhead lights, turning off the studio lights, and we will say our goodbyes until the 26th of October, 2024. Gotta get my dates right. We'll be listing again that Saturday, but not this coming Saturday. That's why we did tonight. Okay, friends, here we go. Yes, great fun. I love that. Chitty chitty jang bang. Chitty chitty jang bang. Chitty chitty bang bang. Pam was also I smell children. Okay, hang on. That just got all skimwampus there on us. Okay, friends, there we go. So two more lists in our book. At least for me, 2 more lists in my book, right? Like I said at the beginning, if this is kind of a new way of crafting for you, it's a really fun way. It's the way that I craft now for myself. I work in Traveler's Notebooks. I do some travel stuff in Traveler's Notebooks, but this is how I document me. Nick and I, my husband and I, we're empty nesters. Sam is back for about 2 months, which has been so much fun to have him back. But we're empty nesters. And as we started getting, approaching that phase of life, and our kids were in high school, and, I was no longer running after them with a camera, and they were probably very glad for that since they were in high school. I had to figure out a different way that I could continue to do the hobby I loved, right? Working with all the fun product and paper and stickers and scrapbook or memory keeper, whatever it was. So I had to figure out for myself how I could continue to play and really enjoy the hobby that I've loved for 27 years, but really make it work in a different phase of life. So that is where I ended doing creative listing, because that is a way that I am kind of switched from telling my children's story, everyone else's story but my own, to now telling my story. And it is a story that I've told in a really different way. Like, you probably never told anyone in your life your favorite movie quotes, right? Or what you wanted to be when you grew up, all the different things, or your favorite breakfast cereals as a kid, or, we've done so many different lists, but it's a really fun way that I have very much enjoyed and will continue to enjoy for a long time of, crafting and scrapbooking, storytelling, memory keeping, whatever you want to call it. So anyhow, that's what we do here when I'm not traveling. Okay, friends, so thank you for joining me this evening. As always, sorry about our little interruption there because I forgot to plug in. I can't believe I did that. Colleen is just going to be so ashamed of me, right? But then she'll know that I need her, right? Giveaway, we did one live giveaway, thanks to our very generous anonymous donor. And that was won by Linda. I wrote it down. Linda Farrell. Yes, Linda Farrell. And then we're doing another giveaway, and that other giveaway is after party giveaway. So you participate in that by leaving a comment on the video when it's over. You have until the morning of the 26th to do that. And that was that whole giant pack of True Color stuff, which is what Simple Stories had given me they gave me 3 of those to design my project for their retreat. And I had 1 left, so I figured I might as well pay that forward. So, let's see. Nancy said, love how you decorated the shelf behind you with Halloween fall colors and knickknacks. Yeah. So a couple planners, couple traveler's notebooks. And you know what? Those guys, really none of that is Halloween. It's just the colors that I put up there. Fun little pumpkins, and we can still fit our little squirrel in there. And then over here, look at this fun little things. Those are fun little Target things from last year. And that's not a real pumpkin, but it could be. Okay, friends, so yes, we talked about giveaways. We're listing together again on the 26th of October. A couple more housekeeping items very quickly. There are 3 classes coming up. 2 next week. The 23rd, Wednesday, is the Gratitude Traveler's Notebook class. If you purchased that project kit, an email went out for that yesterday. Thursday, the 24th, is our November Traveler's Notebook setup. So if you purchased the November-December Traveler's Notebook kit, you received an email for that. Those went out today. And then November 2nd, excuse me. November 2nd is the December Documented Mini Book Project Kit class. So an email went out for that, I believe, yesterday as well. There's lots of things going on. Lots of emails going out. So all of that to say, if you didn't get in on any of those project kits and you still want to, and you don't get your kit in time, you can watch those videos at any time. So that's the deal, friends. All right, I'm going to go, you know what, I'm going to go sit down and have a glass of wine. That is what I'm going to do this evening. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy next week. And if I don't see you at a class next week, hope to see you next Saturday, the 26th, for another listing session. And if not, I hope to see you in the Facebook group or somewhere on the interwebs, all right? And if you did craft with us tonight, go in the Facebook group. I would love it if you would, and I know others would love to see what you worked on. So, Karen, you said you've done a ton. If you guys are comfortable with sharing, and you know what? You guys always see what I do, but not everyone shares what they do. So I think it's really fun and beneficial for all of us to see how everybody does things differently. So if I can encourage you to post in the Facebook group, that would be great. If you're not part of the Facebook group, just search Lail by Mail. You'll see it. Say, I want to be in, and I'll let you in. And then you can see that fun picture of Lindsay. She dressed up for me as Halloween, which was the funniest thing I've ever seen. All right. I think we are good. You guys, hi, JK. Nice to see you. We're wrapping up, but you can always watch. You can always watch the replay. All right, guys, I think I grabbed everybody. If for some reason I missed something that you said, not intentional, just go to lailbymail.com, click contact us up, and click contact us, and then we can chat that way. How about that? All right, friends. JK said replay with wine. Perfect. Sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful. All right, friends. Good night. Good night.